Yo, what's up, guys? New tier list, season 36 tier list. We got about, I think, like a good 3 weeks on the clock left for this. So normally I do it about the last 2 weeks or the last week even, which maybe not that useful for people, but let's do the last 3 weeks right now. Just to give a little bit more in. As always, I use the numbers, blah, 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 yada, yada. You have seen that before. It's the same as triple SS, but it gives me more flexibility. Simple, just skipping that through a little bit. I do want to reiterate a little bit on the last tier list. Oliver was super high up. Gojo was super high up. Those are definitely a bit of units that go down. Powerring is nerfed right now. The Drakan Warriors weren't in just yet. Any of the units here from all the way bottom now rising to the top kind of stuff. Itadori Dark actually kind of got a little bit more attraction. Wusa became a little bit more popular again. But outside of that, nothing. Well, Phantom, of course, definitely went a little bit down too. So those are the main things that we're looking at. We're going to be using Luxac GG, which also does give me the freedom, for example, if we go for a Indra on water, that I can look as like, oh, it looks like crazy good win rates and kind of stuff. But if you actually look at it, it's just a pick phase where it's picked towards the end, and if it's early picked, it's always bad. So those are the kind of things that I can also look at with these kind of sites, which is pretty chill. And then that is pretty much that. Let me actually resize this by just a little bit. Let's do it like this, and let's do it like that. Does that work out? No, let's actually do it like here, so we have a little bit more space to look at things. Nice, looking amazing. Same as always, based on my biased opinion, I do take into account some win rates over here and whatever chat says from time to time. But in the end, I might still be a little bit biased towards my opinion of what I think is good and what I think is bad. But yeah, that's pretty much just it. Feel free to disagree, as always. Starting off the list always with a Han, and I can actually type units right now. Han right now, 46 on the pick rate and or 48 on the pick rate, 0.6. Win rate, Jesus, had everything right now. Low win rate, low pick rate, not really super common in the meta at the moment. So I feel like that Han kind of drifted out of meta. Even with the good LDs such as a Wounds and those kind of things, I don't think he is that strong at the moment. He's just there's just other things that are better than him. And you have to give a really good set to him. Plus, Han is really good if you have multiple dark LDs. If you don't have them, he's even worse. He's barely even worth ruining up. Still usable though. Can be used and strong in the right draft, but mostly needs a lot of other dark units to actually be good. Camilla. I haven't seen a Camilla being used in ages, and that does represent over here as well. Achroma, however, Achroma is also very low on the win rate, low on the pick rate. I do kind of want to give her in for if she's kind of being used, but I would say Achroma is kind of on the same level. The only thing is Achroma does need a very good set, but it's a bit of a slower set, so it's easier to rune than a Han. But therefore, it's still kind of one of those units, like on the rare occasion, nah, I'm going to give it 1 up because it's easy to rune, and you can have it runed up while you have other things runed up. And with Han, it's kind of more difficult to do that. So therefore, I see a little bit more value to the Achroma. Vanessa. Vanessa's 51 win rate, 13 on the pick rate. That is actually pretty high up right there. And that is, yeah, those are interesting stats. It's also pretty commonly picked, well, with just a whole bunch of things. However, I would say she is good, mainly with having other LD single target nukers as well, such as a Jaeger and a bunch of these other LDs. Zenitsu, it's really a Zenitsu carried unit, which definitely makes it a bit more interesting if you have it, a bit less interesting if you don't have it. So I think I'm gonna just put it at a 85. 85. Yeah, well, maybe I'll give it 80 because, no, I still give it... It is a little bit LD carried. Like, she's a little bit single target nuking LD carried. If you do have those, she's 85. If you don't have those, she's 80. So let's claim that most people don't have those, and I think I would place her on 80 for that reason, because there's a lot of good speed leads, and if you don't have those other LDs, you're most likely not going to be drafting her at all. Trinity... I don't think people really use that. No, barely anyone uses that, and for good reason. Eshir actually made quite the comeback. Oh, wait, that's... Do we have different Eshir? Real Eshir. 52 on the win rate and 14 on the pick rate. That is, I think, one of the higher win rates from units that is on a high pick rate. He's super high up if we look at this. That is... He's number 11 on win rate, while being a 14 pick rate for freaking Eshir. Eshir fits the meta. Eshir absolutely fits the meta. Why does he fit the meta that much? Well, he really fits with, if we check him out, where Eshir at, Eshir really fits the meta where he's picked a lot with the double Draken Warrior, which is super strong, but also with the Makumi, he's still pretty freaking strong. But it's pretty much the double Draken Warriors. Like, you can see the win rate with them together. That's just really the broken side of an Eshir, and it is noticeable. It is noticeable that Eshir is really strong. I think 95. 95 maybe a little bit overdone. I might lower him to 90 later, but I think for now 90, and then we just see like what other units come up later at a later moment kind of style. For Rats, what do we have on for Rat? 1% pick rates is not really picked enough for my liking. It's just a Wajet carried unit from what I've seen other people pick it. Vertihile. Vertihile, still a thing you always want to keep ruined up, but not really performing to the best. 48 win rate, 6 on the pick rate, but definitely still keep a Vert ruined up. I would definitely recommend that, especially against all of these AoEs. There are some options that it makes it decent. Why would you use for Red when Sulfur exists? Very much agree, very much agree. So Jamair also not really use. So Wrath is Dustin still using that? Apparently not really, or he's the only one, and he's even not making it work. Julian. So 1L. Well, let's just go for Vampire. That also makes my life easy. Vampire. Julian, also it's kind of struggling on the win rate. 47.6, 1.8 on the pick. I think that Julian might make a little bit of a comeback for a 5th pick, but I think that he's only strong as a 5th pick. If we check his pick rates, no, he's actually strong on 2nd. Interesting. What is he pairing strong with? Does he actually have any strong pairs? Seemingly doesn't have that many strong pairs. Ammo is dropping the win rate. I feel like a good Julian on the 5th is still strong, but only on the 5th, to be honest. When you already have a draft where it's hard to kill them, you have some support for him, and otherwise you get Leylat. Fire Twins are kind of making a comeback and those kind of things, yeah. Cadiz. Cadiz is actually on a decent win rate, 52.8 on a 1.4 pick. Is it most commonly on triple... Well, triple revenge is not the most common. Bio revenge is most common, but is actually doing slightly decent. But in all honesty, for me, I give them kind of same level. I don't really classify one much higher than the other. They both have their niche kind of things. I would say that Cadiz might be a good counter against the Water Gandalf because you have a buff block, which is kind of nice. You can browse them all from the unit at the top. Oh, yeah, true. I totally forgot about that. That makes my life a lot easier. Thanks for the reminder. But yeah, I think that Cadiz is most likely for me kind of same-ish. Would I say so? Yeah, well, the order doesn't really matter for me mostly anyways. But yeah, I'll just give it that. We go for a Theor. Is Theor even used these days? It has a 72.7% win rate, best unit in game with 0.0% point rate. Okay, not in there. Rakan, also not really picked. Lagmaron, not really picked. Jean, not really picked. Scribble, you gotta step up your game. Zeratul, 3% pick rate. I still like myself a Zeratul. I think people are really underrating their Zeratul. Sure, you have to give good runes to him to make him shine, but I think Zeratul is definitely still worth it. There's a lot of single target units that will get a lot of buffs. Zeratul will strip those every turn. A proccing Zeratul is still one of the most dangerous things in game. So yeah, I would definitely still say give Zeratul a set. Maybe tune it down a little bit for not a full-on speed set, but Zeratul is super nasty. That's he's at least an 80 for me. I would honestly, I'm slightly biased. I would say I'm 85, but by win rates and looks of this, I'll just give him an 80. Then we had all of the Chimeras already. Phoenixes, Eludia maybe is being used. I'm not too sure. 2% pick rate. Yeah, it's one of those Nem trap-ish counters that I see people use. Or you're gonna go for some full-on cleave. Yeah, it's most common like the double Nem will comp that people use, and then you're using it against some kind of Wusa or some kind of AoE hit that you hope that an Ethna S2 triggers it or something like that. But I'll give her over there, or if it's they, them, I have no freaking clue what it is. Jara. I already feel that Cadiz deserves an in-between tier. He feels a little bit better than these, right? But he doesn't really feel over there. Like that's kind of a thing. I kind of do agree that he feels better than these. Or what we can do, we can also do this. We created our in-between tier. Hey, I have enough space at the bottom to work with anyways, mostly. So I think that this is totally fine. I think I have enough space over here. Because below this, we probably still add like a... shite units. Oh, shite units. Tier. Yeah, I kind of agree that this is better than these. Do I still kind of want to up the vert? Nah, too much Sulfuric issues. Sean was not used. Jara was kind of used. No, Jara's not used. Okay, Archangels. Velajul. Velajul's making quite a comeback. I think it's mostly the Resistance 6 that people do rocking one. Yeah, it's mostly the Resistance Velajuls that people are picking up with. I think a Velajul is definitely... Yeah, Velajul's still good. I don't have it roomed myself, but a good Velajul. It's also a sacking Velajul is good. A non-sacking Velajul's kind of mid. Therefore, you mostly see people that play Velajuls are sacking people. It's just an honest truth, man. Like, if you feel Velajul's a good unit for you, you're most likely sacking it. Artemil and Fermion not really used at all. Moving on to the Oracles. It actually goes pretty fast with this side, man. Loving this shit. Praha as first. Praha. You know what only doesn't work on this? Red West, you're here. Why can I not use home and end in this for... Normally what I do, if I type something, I use home and end to do this. But that doesn't work over here. But that's just nitpicking. Either. Praha, not really being used at all. It's just Guts the Berserk using it. Juno. Juno is a 50.6% win rate. I expected more out of her. Wait. Vamp Juno? Vamp Juno's 51. It's better. Like, I'm such a big fan of a Vamp Juno, to be honest. Juno for me still goes over here. Doesn't really represent that on win rate, but I'm biased for that. I would say Vamp Juno 85, Despair Juno 80. What do you guys think about that one? I feel like this Vamp Juno is so good in the meta. Vamp Juno 85 for sure. Despair probably 80. Even my way worse set on Vampire outshines my Despair Juno. Like, I can do 15 speed more on Despair, and I still like my Vamp Juno more. So I can go 199 on Despair, but I'd rather go 184 on Vamp. That's crazy things, right? Can you imagine? Like, I legit switched from Elunia to Lumen for this unit. That's some insane numbers right now. That's like, I've been Elunia all the way. And now I'm like, no, Lumen, it is. Juno is 48 win rate, 7 on the, or 48.7 on the win rate, 21 on the pick, is super high on pick. Does that make her one of the top most picked units in game? I think it would, right? This is by played. Yeah, she's number 8 most picked in G3. Does have one really big issue that, yeah, you have to land your bombs. That is that. What does mean Elunia and Lumen? Those are the dimensional hole things. I think I'll give Sierra an 80. I'm not the biggest fan of Sierra. Like, Sierra that always lands bomb, super strong. Sierra that doesn't land her bomb is fucking F tier. And that's kind of her thing right there. And I feel like that she kind of fits in the 80 tier with these things because of that. Then moving on to the other ones. Oracle over here. 55 win rate on a Lima. Interesting. Is that triple revenge? Double revenge wolves people rocking these days. But barely any pick rate, so I'm just not gonna set that in. I know Tactic. Tactic is one of the very few players that actually is using that, and effectively. Then we have Gianna, 50.6 on the win rate. Is actually dropping a little bit more and more on the win rate. Interesting to see, because she was like 51-ish on win rate before. Wait, and this thing we can also check the trends, right? So, okay, this is like individual on the day. Some days it's good, some days it's better. But we definitely have some downsides, man. This also looks like a goddamn fucking heartbeat. Like, holy shit, sometimes people are hella inting with Gianna, other days it's working out. But on stable factor, I think she's super strong. But is she 95 strong, though? I'm not sure if she's 95 strong. Because I feel like she's still having issues against a lot of the counters, such as Josephine's, which are super common. Gandalf, she doesn't have the best of matchups, especially because it's mostly paired with the two. Heigang is definitely still an issue. Plus, you have the issue, you have a lot of options to outspeed her. And that might be kind of a lowering of value for her. I would say she has too many counters, and that makes her a 90. It is a nice unit if she lands up. That's definitely a thing. Yeah, she just misses the consistency factor. And the consistency factor kind of drags her out. She is a dominant candidate for 92.5 tier, if it comes to that. She will most likely end at a 92.5, but for now, I don't think she is worth 90. Moving on to the next. We have some OGs starting off with Annabelle. I'm curious to see what Annabelle win rate is at. 51, pick rate 6. Not too bad, not too bad. I feel like Annabelle, kind of 85-ish. She's not the easiest to rune because you kind of want to have to rune in front of all of your RCC units right after your strippers. And yeah, you having another set for that available might be a little bit hard, but she's still really good at that. Yeah, she's still really nasty at that. Is she a 90? I don't know if she feels that 90 to me. I feel like she's kind of on value to me with a Juno. Because she's a little bit more difficult to rune and not everyone has the value of runing her up. Plus, it's also the value if you have a Nyx or something strong paired with her, it becomes a lot more interesting. But she's good enough and all-round enough to definitely give value to be ruined for most of the cases. Rika, too low on pick rate. Charlotte, too low on pick rate. Laura is 51.3, 8.2 on the pick rate. I think Laura still definitely belongs in 90. Is Laura a 95 though? Nah, I don't think I can sell Laura on 95 if I put Gianna on 90. I feel Laura and Gianna are kind of similar tier to one another. Still, a Laura that goes for double S1 sleep into another S3 is really toxic. She does have decent pairs with the Drakan Warrior, which is... Yeah, that's the thing. Like, she has defense buff for a Soulfork and a Drakan Warrior and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's... Yeah, also, what is she pairing strong with is pretty much Soulfork and Irision, which is the heavy meta right now. So, I think that she adds more to the table to a Irision Soulfork than a Gianna does. I feel like 95 is fair. But to be honest, I feel like both of them are worth like a 92.5. Like, low-key. I feel like Eshir is more consistent than both of them. I'm already gonna do it. Like, I know I'm gonna do it at some point, so let's just fucking do it. I think Gianna definitely belongs there. But, yeah, she feels... There's a lot of... Wait, name 3 more defense scaling units. Convince me. Because I'm kind of tempted to do this. Because her pick rate is not that high. And I know a lot of people do have her. Driller, yeah, okay, you're out. Which, yeah, that already gives defense buff. Okay, Gojo's. Yeah. Oh, whoops, smacking the mic. Gojo's, not that much. I feel like she doesn't have that much pick rate. Like, she's kind of lacking on the pick rate. And therefore, I'm not expecting her to be crazy good. I think a 92.5 is fair on her. Freedion, that unit doesn't exist. Nikki, also a unit that doesn't exist. Moving on next to some Hell Ladies. Rocky, probably never used. Yep, Beth is used, but too low on pick rate, so I don't care. Etna is on a 50.3 on an 8.3 for the pick rate. I think that's 85 or an 80. I kind of like Etna for the fact where she does counter Shiho. She does also in most cases counter Sonya because she's mostly faster because she doesn't have an attack threshold. Only issue is that she's heavy countered by Megumi, heavy countered by Shiho, heavy countered by all of those things that are super freaking meta. And that's the kind of thing that I'm saying, like, I'm not sure if I like her that much for your odds of putting your best set on. I feel like she's also best paired for Vanessa players, if we're talking about any specific lead. But there's less Vanessa players out there, so... However, I think still a good Ethna is fine. Let's give it 85. Heavy countered? No, she's heavy countering Shiho, but she's heavy countered by Xingzi and Megumi. The other way around. Moving on to the others. Asima, never used. Kraka, pretty much... Well, it's 1% pick rate, so I place it in. It's ass. Don't use this shit. Not a big fan. I love Ethna with light Legolas. Yeah, that's understandable, but also very specific. Antares. Anyone using Antares? I am the only Antares user out there right now. There's too many Dianas, man. Because of that many Dianas, I'm like, Loki's like, yo, fuck it, smacking more Antares. Dragonites. Good old Chow. Chow's pretty strong, right? Yep, Chow 51 on a 4.6er. That does make sense. There's a lot of only losing with Chow. We had that then Terra's win. I think I remember. I don't know. But yeah, good Chow. Chow. Do we say 85 for on the Chow, or do we say Chow doesn't have that many playtime? So a good Chow is definitely recommended. But since Chow doesn't get that much playtime, I think I'll still give him an 80 and not more than an 80. Or do we feel he's 85? He is the good Shiho counter though. But against Dragon Warriors, he kind of fucks up. Yeah, no, I give it an 80. I'll give it an 80. Leica. Barely picked, but into the right draft. I still like myself a Leica, so do I actually want to give him. Are you putting Water Gandalf at 110? Maybe. No, he's not worth 110. A procking Water Gandalf is 120. Non-procking Gandalf is probably just 95 or so. Leo. Well, ACOG no longer in the game. Well, actually, this thing, 50 win rate. It's not that bad. 12.2. Still one of the highest bans. Is he the highest ban? Oh, wait. Highest ban of a 3% pick rate plus. Leo is on the highest ban still. Not surprised. Not surprised. Does actually drop in win rate the moment he's in the match. Leo. I give Leo an 85 in the current meta. And not that he's necessarily super strong, but he's super much of a must-to-have at least rune. So I feel Leo is a good 85 still. Going to this. Jaeger! 52.5 and 13.6 on the pick rate. That is one of the higher win rates from pretty much all units out there. If we check it by win rate, how far? Jaeger is number 9 on the 13 pick rate. That is pretty damn nasty. And pretty damn nasty goes straight into the 95 tier. Very simple. Busted unit. Super strong. A lot of stunts in the current meta. He messes up all of them stunts. Perfect. Moving on to the next one, which is going to be his brother Ragdoll. Never a bad unit, but is he good these days? 51.3 on an 8.1er. I give Ragdoll 90. I am still biased on Ragdoll. Most people would probably put it -1, but I'm still biased on Ragdoll that Ragdoll is usable in turn 1 and in turn 2. Ragdoll is one of the best pivot units in game. And Ragdoll just has so much shit going for him that, let's say you have a speed team, they have a speed team, their Russian crits 2 times, your whole team suddenly moves. Like, that's still a nasty thing that Ragdoll can do. Plus, if you put him at the wrong range of HP at a wrong moment, he procs out of a stun, he torrents your ass, one-shots your ass. Ragdoll is still really, really nasty. So 90 at least. Some people are claiming 92.5. I feel like that these two are just more spammable. Well, it's actually by win rate. If we look purely by win rates, then Laura and Ragdoll are kind of on the same. Ooh, I'm actually not against it. 92.5. Yeah, because in the end, Irresian is the main unit in game, and Irresian does have Crit Awakening. And that's the same issue what Gojo has. Crit Awakening, you're gonna crit something for sure, especially multi-hits. But yeah, I think 92.5 on Ragdoll. People that own a Ragdoll probably say I'm biased that I don't have a Ragdoll, but I think I'm gonna be putting a Ragdoll at 92.5. There's a fair bit of people having good Ragdoll picks at the late pick, and it's super, super strong. Plus, Ragdoll probably has higher ban rate than the other two. But then, moving on, next, Menki Business, Shiho, which I think is one of the highest pick units, 50 on the win rate. How high are you up for pick rate? Shiho is the second most pick unit, which is not a first pick, which is also interesting. Like, I don't think he's first pick that much, but he's super high on the pick rate. So that definitely gives him a lot of value. Does it give him 95 value? No, I think he loses a little bit too much compared to these two. But I feel like he's 92, at least 90. But I feel like Shiho is strong enough to be a 92.5. The only issue I have with him is inconsistencies. If he S3s and he doesn't stun, match is mostly over. If he S2s and he stuns everything, it's crazy good. If he S2s and he doesn't stun, it's kind of bad. So yeah, its inconsistencies make him 90. If he didn't have those inconsistencies, he would probably be a freaking 100. But the inconsistencies make it where it's like every skill he has has a chance to stun that is not a full chance. Which is just kind of an iffy thing. Oh shit, Mayowank, 44.4% win rate? Damn, I thought this unit was still doing good. Yeah, it's the all or nothing, it's in the name, but damn, why is Mayowank doing this bad? What is he failing against? Like Solvark, maybe. But Erussian, well, Erussian could heal block him, which is kind of annoying for him. I don't know. I felt like, for my feeling, I would go for probably 70 or 75. But looking at the numbers, this is a really low number. So I think I'm going to drop him at 65. Yeah, that's a hard fall off. The monkey business used to be this guy. Now it's all of the others. Stingze, 48.6 on the win rate, 27.7 on the pick rate. Is one of the higher units, top 5 most used unit in game. Is often an early pick. Is the main counter against the Erussian, or one of the 2 main counters as opener against the Erussian, which definitely gives him a lot of value. Win rate isn't really representing that, but I still think... Is he 90 or is he 85? Nah, he's definitely 90. Because these units, you cannot first pick. Him having the first pick value, he's also a little bit by chance, but I feel like him having the speed lead, he's still high value. Can't deny that. Going on for the other brothers. Too low on pick rate. Songsheng Lauer, 51.1, 14.5 on the pick. Do we go 90 or do we go... No, I think we go 92.5. I feel like him 92.5 is fair. It is a strong pair with the Erussian. You have the issue if things proc out, but it is still a really strong pair. Plus, he has the value that if the whole enemy team moves, this thing procs out or isn't stunned, he can mess up the whole team. So, I think I gotta respect the monkey on the 92.5er. Then we go for a Chandra, which is also a little bit getting back into meta. 48.1 on the win rate. 7.1 on the pick rate. I still give Chandra a below Sierra and Vanessa. If you really focus your runes on it, sure, it can have a bit of play here and there. It could be decent, could be nice, but personally not the biggest of fans of the Chandra play out there at the moment. I feel like that there's stronger things, but the Chandra still could do his thing. Nah, I'll give him an 80. He's kind of like Valakyrja-ish for me. No, actually, Valakyrja is playable in a lot of drafts where Chandra as a late pick doesn't work. Like, you either first pick Chandra or you don't. That's kind of a thing. So, let's lower him for that. Yan Hong, which has some issues with Eshir being that good. That's definitely a thing. Also, isn't the best pair with the Drakan Warriors. And because of not being the best pair with the Drakan Warriors, the win rate is dropping a bit to a 48.6, 9.2 on the pick rate. And I think that does also represent... I still think it's a really strong unit. But this is definitely a unit. If you have Gianna, she's 95 or 92.5. Now, I would say if you have Gianna, she's 92.5. Without Gianna, I give her, in all honesty, by best 85. What do you guys say about that one? And I think I'm just going to claim it as without Gianna, because it's not that she has multiple strong pairs. The only pair she actually wants to work with these days is a Gianna. All of the other pairs are kind of like, yeah, kind of works, but not really. So I'll give it an 85. Because still she's strong, but it's also one of those things. I'd rather have the runes on this one than that one right now. It's like, I don't know. Even with Gianna, her win rate isn't great. That's maybe also a thing. Moving on, that's this one. A bit too low on pick rates. As just some of those weird-ass cleaves. Just drop those at 70 without too much questions asked. I think I'll go for that. Moving next to some sages. Are they classified as sage in here? They're classified as sage in here. Chiwu. 45 win rate on the Chiwu. Okay, Chiwu ass. Chiwu ass. 2% pick rates, I'll drop it in. Julian is much better than Akroma. I personally disagree. I feel like Akroma and Julian is kind of same level. They're just 5th picks. And they're kind of hard to find the right matchup for them. Plus, Julian, you have to put actual good runes to, and Akroma, you can put shit to that you wouldn't use on anything else. Whereas Julian, you have to put shit to that you would actually do it for. Don't worry, you fixed the numbers. Dude, numbers have been dropping since you built that unit. Shut the fuck up, Ammo. No, I'm just kidding. Wusa, 48.9 on the win rate, 5 on the pick rate. It's also one of those units. A proccing Rusa is good if you have the cycle of your off immunity turn back into S3 proc. If you don't have that shit, he's kind of ass. But a Wusa from time to time, it's that he's that good of a pair with a stupid Gandalf. Like, without the Gandalf on the field, he would be way lower, but I'll give him... I'll give Wusa 75. Wunsa, though. Wunsa's making a comeback, 51.7. Does have some strong pairs with the Draken Warriors and stuff. 85 for sure. Do we go higher than 85? I feel like it's worth more than 85 because he has strong pairs with the Draken Warriors. Yeah, that's also like most used with Draken Warrior, 33 elite. Yes, definitely better than Yunhong. Yeah, absolutely over here. Absolutely over there. I don't think he's a 92.5. He's not picked enough for a 92.5er because he's just a 5th pick and these are definitely more spammable. Wunsa's only 5th. So I feel him fair on the 90. He's fair on the 90. Also, I switched them from left to right, which doesn't even matter in any of my lists. At least not in these, otherwise I have to check too many things. Vermos. The LD5 everyone at least has. Not as strong anymore as it used to be. Mainly because it's just meta switching kind of style. I still give Vermos an 80. I still think a right Vermos at the right moment next to a Nobara or next to a Juno is still really strong. Geo probably better. Geo's picked more, but this one has more success, so... Unless we Shio up here. I wouldn't be against making Shio 92.5, to be honest. Because he's picked that much. Like being the, what, 3rd most picked unit in game? 2nd most picked unit in game? I'll make you a 92.5, because I do agree. Wunsa feels weaker than Shiho if we compare A to B. Where were we at? We were at a Vermos. And now we need to check if the others are actually used. Below 1% pick rates are not used. The Sarion still having issues with Oblivion things that mostly cleanse it off by another dude that's cleansing for it. Tiana's actually making some comeback. Close to 2% pick rate, so I actually do want to give it some credit. Then again, Tiana is super hard LD carried. Without the right LD, such as a Nefty, such as a whatever people use with LDs these days on Tiana, that makes Tiana good. It's not that... Like, I will play Seiishizo 70. If you have the right LD, she's 80 or 85. But without that, she's definitely 70. I maybe should also go for a Tiana runed up again, because she is kind of nice into the... Megumi, the Shinzes, those kind of things. These against Gandalf, yeah, I can kind of see that as well. Maybe I should room one up as well, because I do have the Dark Monkey, so it might be a good strip for like a late moment. Yeah, I should think about it. But I'll give it a 75. Of course, as I mentioned, with the right LDs, it goes up. And that's all for... Nope, wait, we have you in here as well. Ooh, 1% pick rate, though. It's a little bit on the low side. I'll keep minimum of 2% pick rates. Tetra, though. Well, I actually did not add in them up. Please don't be over 2% pick rate. Thank you. Fuck you, Molly. No one likes you. Tetra, no one likes you apparently neither. Like, fuck that unit's ass. Okeanos. Okeanos is... Oh, I thought Okeanos' pick rate was higher, but Okeanos' win rate is insane. 52.5? That is probably outside of the Draken Warrior, one of the highest win rates for a 10% plus pick rate unit. Number 8... And is a non-LD on an 11 plus pick rate. That is insane. Okeanos is strong. Does have some Josephine issues, but Okeanos hella strong. Do we say this? Yeah, to be honest, I do. Yeah, I would say Okeanos is Okeanos stronger than the Zhongshan Lao? If we look purely at the stats say yes. If we look purely at how I draft, I actually rather draft a Okeanos than a Zhongshan Lao in a lot of cases. In all honesty, because if you draft it in a slot 2 or slot 3, this gives you an option where the enemy will probably go for Josephine, which is more annoying, but they will not go for anything that you have to reset. So Shizuka's, all of those kind of things are covered. So yeah, I would say, yeah, 92. Plus the double hit on the S2. Yeah. How were you summoned? Ass. Moving on next. Oh wait, we do have some more on this same family. Never picked. Triton. Oh, okay, Triton is kind of trying to do its thing. 3% on the pick rate, 50 on the win rater. But definitely worse than a Wunsa. Has a little bit too much issues that if you don't get the pushback on the right unit, let's say you push back everything but not the Shio still moves, you're fucked. Whereas Munsa is a little bit more consistent with that if there's multiple units on will. S2 of this thing is okay-ish, but also if there's not too much fire. So I feel myself losing a lot more when I use more Triton, but I'll give Triton an 80. If you're using the AoE CC kind of style, he's still nice for the contesting because he's fast. Pantas, 3% pick rate, 49 on the win rate. Do we have some Pantas RNG lovers in here? I'll give Pantas 70 or 75. I feel like Pantas is only good if you proc and you cleanse the whole team. Without that, it's ass. Like that's just how I feel about Pantas. It is a backup speed lead though, and the backup speed lead value I think pushes him in 75. Okeanos is always Vaio, always, because he already stuns. You don't need to despair. Moving on next to some. Wait, Ammo, where's your Thebae at? I haven't seen you play Thebae in ages. 51 win rate, 7.1 on the pick rate. It's not that much, but I'll give it Thebae. If you play a comp around Thebae, Thebae is actually pretty legit. If you just pick Thebae randomly, yeah, it's fucked. I'll give you a 75. On the right pick, he's kind of nice. Sekmatter. Sekmat is kind of struggling with, well, landing most of the time. 48.7 on the win rate, 15.6 on the pick rate. Is picked a lot. Is good for the speed contesting. But I think I'll just give you an 85. 85, she's still really nice, but yeah, she's a blessing or a curse. It's in the name of a beautiful curse, but, or curse of the beautiful, but either way. Hathor is the toxic thing that's making a comeback. 51.1, 5% on the pick rate. Loki Hathor into those full turn 2 Gandalf kind of nonsense things. It is pretty strong, not gonna lie. Think I'm gonna have to put Hathor on 85. I'm not gonna put Hathor any higher, but I think Hathor 85 is what we're looking at the moment. I actually ruined one up myself as well. Isis. I think Isis is highly underrated. She has 61 win rate, only 0.3 pick. I have no fucking clue why she has 0.3 pick. She should have so much higher pick. That thing, if you're fighting full fucking passive bullshit, man, I'm locking in every fucking Isis ever if I had 100%. So I'm gonna give this the credit value. Maybe I'm glazing this unit right now that actually doesn't do shit. But Loki, I feel like at least over here by bare minimum. And then we have Nefties. 49.2 on the win rate, 4.7 on the pick rate. Kind of struggling in the meta, needs a real whole comp around it to actually be good. I'll give Nefties an 80. Still can be used, still can be a decent 5th pick if you need it. Mostly then on Swift, but do you actually want to focus the best runes on her? In a lot of cases, no. Unless you have like the full LD comp around her. Which most people don't have. Wedget. What do you have for Wedget? Ooh, Zigbear not carrying it that much with his crazy set. About 50 win rate, 4 on the pick rate. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It does work with the Draken Warriors, and he has Draken Warrior value, and therefore I value Wedget a little bit more. But I'm not going to give it more than an 80 as well. Because he still needs kind of like the whole comp to be based on Wedget, and then it can kind of work. But then it's still not crazy on the win rate, which is kind of a thing. When will you finally get his 28 lead? Yep. The water, probably never used, right? Nope, okay. Into some Fairy Kings. Nyx to start off with, 15.7 on the win rate, 12.5 on the pick rate. Not bad numbers, is the unit that is the RNG fuck himself. Like, it's just the honesty of this thing. This thing is the most inconsistent fuckface there is on this planet. Then the question is, where do we place this inconsistent fuckface of the planet? Is he 85 or is he 90? As a turn 1 player, I feel he's 85, but for a turn 2 player, I feel like he's 90. 100? No, then you just played against the right secker. That's a different thing. I feel like an in-betweener tier. I feel like an in-betweener tier because I feel like he's higher than the units down there. But he's also not as high as this. Do we feel that any of these units join you? No, not really. Is Okeanos really that good right now? Yes, he is. Does have a bit of Josephine issues, but yes, Okeanos is really good. The brothers. Samath, below 2% pick rate, but I still want to give you some credit for a tech math here or there, something. Good old 70. Daphnis, I'm curious about your win rate. 2% pick rate, but 49 as well, pretty much. I feel like a Swift Daphnis against a slow team is low-key pretty good. It is coin flip, yes, but if you snipe one unit and you kill Megumi on the first hit right away, you're looking at a pretty chill match. I like Nyx the same as Ragdoll. Yeah, okay, but Obaba, to be fair, if you have good RNG, this unit is good. But if the RNG is bad on this unit, he does absolutely fucking jack all. He is better value on Swift, that is true, I do agree with that. But the thing is, he just so often doesn't strip shit. So his whole value on Swift also kind of lacks because of that. But yeah, no, I feel like Nyx, I tried him for a fair bit. I don't really see other people spamming that much that have good success unless they're actually full-on lucky units. Or lucky players. So I'll give Nyx over here still. Ganymede, however. Ganymede is making quite some numbers on win rates. 52.3. 5 on the pick rate. I am not sure what are the strong pairs with it. It's a Ramel and Judia carried kind of units. Also strong with Yan Hong. Understandable. Strong with Yana. Yeah, who isn't? Yeah, it's understandable. It's understandable. Good with Okeanos. That's also an old combo. Used to be pretty strong. Ganymede. Do we join you on that? No, I think we still go one lower. But maybe then the Hathor is too high. No, actually, I feel like more people should give value to the Ganymedes. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I should give more value to my own Ganymede. To be honest. Because the Ventilate still is really strong if you have long cooldowns to reset and those kind of things. So, I think I'm going to put Ganymede over there. Might be looking a little bit questionable, but I think Ganymede is very strong. Damn. Overall win rate, 55.6. Those are those spammers that go for Eshir, Tablos, Shizukas, Oberon kind of style, which is really strong. But it's only strong in that combo, to be honest. So, for that reason, I'll give Oberon a 75. Because it's just that one Clo combo. Bunch of my guildies actually run that exact combo. Is crit rate the new multiplier for Ganymede right now? I would still go HP. Crit rate is fine if you have a faster rune and a more fitting rune on crit rate, but HP is totally fine. The multiplier is kind of ass, to be honest. That's all for these. Misty. How good is Misty doing? 50.4, 4.4 on the pick. Kind of funny how Misty also fell off. I guess it's also the heal blocks value, right? It's about an 80. I feel like Chao and Misty are kind of similar-ish units. Like, if you draft them at the right moment, they can go for a solo. But often they also don't. But at the right moment, they're really strong. Ranuki. Racuni. 54.8. Kind of same. Also an 80 for me. Pretty similar. Yeah. Can be strong, can be ass, but can be also in between. Mo Longer. Ooh, Mo Long win rate. Kind of ass. 46.7. I think if you use a Mo Long to snipe one specific target and you have the elemental advantage on that one target, as in elemental damage up, he's really nice. But if you use him as a general spam unit, I think he's really bad. So he's more of like a 5th pick-ish, maybe damage on light, damage on dark, whatever you're trying to kill or something. 75-ish what I still give to Malong, even though his numbers aren't really representing that. But no, actually, I'm putting him in 70. Because the numbers are a little bit on the low side. Feng Yanger, too low on pick rate. Tian Langer, 51.1 and a 9.5er. Tian Lang, still a very strong, the arch enemy of a freaking Magoomer. Arch enemy of a whole bunch of things. But the issue is for Tian Lang, at least the issue that I find with Tian Lang, his armor break on the S1. If you land it first, it's really strong. If you land it all the way late, it's pretty ass. Would Swift Molong be optimal then? Yeah, I would say Swift Molong. Wait, I want to see what are the builds win rates for Molong. Yeah, from all of those Swift builds doing best, and the others are doing way worse, apparently. But they're all doing bad, it seems. Hopper 100 or hate cry. Good for you, Chloe, I don't care. Yeah, Tianlang. I feel like Tianlang is fair on the 90. It's not as spammable as previous metas, but he's still pretty solid. He's definitely a unit there that you want to keep. I don't think he is... Nah, he's not Ragdoll or Songsheng Lao level. Nah, not really. Not really. In my opinion, not. Mi Yinger. 1% pick rate. I feel like that he should be picked more as well. Sure, he is nerfed pretty hard. I do agree with that. But I feel like that the stun meta is that heavy that more people should pick him up. And I think he's actually better than people expect. But I might be coping over here. But I still, for that cope, give him a fucking 80. Deal with it. Nice. Ponies. We already had it over there. Liponi. Liponi is taking ass for a beating on that shit over here. Julian better than Miying. Yeah, okay. I'll definitely one down you for that reason. If I look at the Julian value, do I one up the Julian because of that? Nah, he needs to good of runes that are very specific. He doesn't because he has speed lead. Or has speed awakening. Liponi. Liponi, as I mentioned, low win rate. 48.6 on the win rate, 3.5 on the pick rate. Julia Chroma's better. Akroma's definitely not better than this, and Akroma's easy to rune than this. But this one is better than that, but this one uses no fucking runes that you normally would put on anything else. Whereas Julian runes is actually fucking difficult. Like, runing a good Julian is hard. Runing a good Akroma is easy. Runing a good Miying, also easy. And that's mainly just base speed awakening. Liponi. Yep, Liponi. As for unit for win rates, I do own the unit. And I think the unit is kind of... honestly, I would rather draft Valajul than this thing. Like, this thing barely has any runes for me at the moment. Also, this is kind of a sacking unit. If you're going for like, oh, she should anti-crit or glance a Sonya. Yeah, if she does that, it's super strong. But the odds of that, not that big. If it is for the immunity for the whole team the whole time, it's not that bad, but you don't have too many of those interactions, because that used to be good against like Olivers, but you don't see too many Olivers these days. Still a decent unit. I'll still give it 80, even though that the win rate is definitely not representing that, so it's still a decent unit, but not a big fan personally. Over here, not used. Diana definitely does make a comeback, right? Yep, 51.3 on the win rate, 5.4 on the pick rate. And that does make sense because lots of AoEs with Draken Warriors, and she does kind of counter the Draken Warriors. So I feel like Diana is definitely making a bit of a comeback, so I'll give her an 85 on Diana. I don't feel like she's... do I feel like she's higher than that? No, actually, I kind of feel like I won down the Ganymede as well. It's kind of a little bit far-fetched to put him that high up. Because also for win rates, it's kind of similar-ish on the both of them of how often picked and shit. Yeah, Diana 85 is fine. We're not going to place that any higher. These are all not used. Nope. Tablo. Not used enough. Not used enough. So we're not going to place that. Celia. Definitely not used enough, right? Nope. Vivachel. I think Vivachel is low-key the most overrated unit in game. Okay, remove the Loki. I think Vivachel... Oh, wait, I took the Panda. Wait, yeah. Vivachel... Wait, where the hell did my... Vivachel went over there. I feel like a lot of people put Vivachel up there. But fucking Vivachel is not that great, man. I see so many fucking matches with Vivachel where she moves in front and she doesn't have a single chance of doing skill 3. If she doesn't have a single chance of doing skill 3, you might as well have drafted the fucking Triana. That's just... The odds of that is such a gamble that you're at the exact right speed compared to the enemy that I feel like she's too much of a gamble. And sure, she's good in the right matches, but I feel like 87.5. Sure, she is good if you have the right other LDs with it. Like, she has a strong pairing with a bunch of other LDs and that kind of stuff. Yeah, maybe, no. Don't act like you wouldn't be jumping for joy if you pull Viva. 100% true. I would not be that happy with a Viva Gel. Like, I would run it up 100%. I would probably put a Bio Will, crit rate, and resistance set on her. But it's not that I would be feeling like, yo, that's a crazy good unit. Why that high for her win rate? Because her pick rate is pretty high and her ban rate is pretty high. So there's still... And she has some strong pairs that if it does work out, plus any Leo that the enemy picks, this unit absolutely fucks it up. So there are a bunch of values to her which make her strong. But as a spam pick on Vivachel, I'm not the biggest of fans. Also, I'm curious if we look at the stats for the pick phase. Yeah, it's more like in second pick she's good, or like all the way late pick she's good. So, and for best builds... Bio apparently is slightly higher, but Swift is lower. And then also crit rate. Crit rate resistance is exactly what I would do. It's actually one of the lower tiers, but I hate a Vivachel that is like, S1 for 1k, S1 for 1k. Fucking on a death break, she should be hitting fucking 11k. Her whole fucking kit is speed scaling. You don't need any attack. You don't need anything else. Just some fucking crit rate. Like, no, I can't see it when a fucking Vivachel hits 2k, man. I can't. I CBA. So maybe it's also the Vivachel ass builds that lower her in win rate. But then again, moving her at the right moment, yeah, that's the most important thing. So I'll still give it a decent... Like, the win rate is not representing the rank I'm giving it. But I also would say a lot of people place her in her top 3 most wanted LD5s on Dark, which personally, I would disagree with. Speed, crit rate, and Sonya proof, then don't draft it into Sonya's. Like, that's also one of those things. You don't have to be Sonya proof on everything, every match. Moving on next. My most hated unit in game, still, Josephine. 51.1 on a 22% pick rate. How high? You are number 8 most used unit in the game, and you have a higher win rate if you're in the game rather than banned. So, yeah. That is, her win rate climbs to a 52 when she's in the match. 95, at least. Bare minimum. Bare minimum 95. I don't think I place her higher. Maybe she's a necessary evil to counter Okeanos, otherwise you'd be fucked. But she's also not higher than the other two. She's definitely not higher than an Eshir. Like, Eshir is too strong for that. Same thing for Jaeger. Those are just too strong for that. But Josephine comes in pretty close. People are using her as core pick. Yeah, that's just... I thought she's just a sack unit. She's 105 if she sacks. But she's 95 for general people. Leona, does she actually make a comeback? It is high on the win rate, but that's just Almimo. Abellio. 50.4 on the win rate, 55 on the pick rate. It's actually interesting. It used to be a higher win rate unit, but mostly picked late. Interesting. This looks kind of odd. Why is it that low in there, but high in there and high in the rest? Who the fuck first picks Abellio in the first place? Oh wait, that's 2 and 3. It's never first picked. Like, what the fuck? I feel like that there's not enough cleaves for Abellio to be good. But Abellio itself is a good unit. So I'll give him 75 or 75 or 80. No, I would still keep an Abellio rune. I'll give it 80. I feel like Abellio's still good. Anti-heal everywhere. Yeah, that's kind of true. The anti-heal does kind of fuck him up, right? Yeah, Draken Warriors fuck him up. I give him 75. Because Draken Warrior is that common. The other ones. As this one. As this one. Oh, Volantis. Ew. Ew. Fucking Volantis. Shit unit. Paid it though. 51. 3.8. You are an 80. I feel like Pater could also maybe use a little bit of an edge. He's hard to rune, though. It's kind of the thing. Valance needed a buff so bad. Yeah, I don't want... Man, the issue with Valance is there is currently an ungodly amount of people or an ungodly amount of units that you want to rune on your fastest despair. And Valance ain't one of them. That's just the thing, man. That's just the thing. Pater 85. It is one of the better anti-units though, but I feel like you can also just force him like Shiho S3, force him to use the S3, and then you can still like stun with the Gianna. Like those kind of things. That's there are a few too many things that fuck up the Pater, right? So I'll just give him an 80 for that reason. We already have that. Bolvrik, I'm curious to see about your win rate. 50 and 10 on 0.8 on the pick rate. Why the fuck is Bolvrik a meta, man? Like that's 10% pick rate for this fucker? That's just unbelievable. Well, to be honest, do we classify Bolvrik as good, though? The issue that I have with Bolvrik, Josephine on her inconsistent rates, perfectly stuns your Bolvrik. Anytime that your Bolvrik is like, I'm gonna take a turn and heal the living shit out of everything, first I have to blast through the shield of 1,000,000 HP, he gets stunned again or provoked for 2 turns or both. Like, I don't know, man. Bolvrik feels fake. I started winning more against Josephines the moment I started picking less Bolvriks. Plus heal blocks, true. Yeah, Bolvrik 80. Maybe my win rate it shows a little bit higher, but not the biggest of fans. Geldnir, never picked. Okay. Bella, I'm just curious. I haven't seen people draft Bella in ages. Okay, some people apparently do. I would not recommend that. Lucifer. Benny, how hard are you inting with this unit? Well, you make a 2% pick rate. Not bad, Benny. 50 on the win rate. Christina? I'll check Christina a second. I think Christina kind of ass as well. Lucifer. Lucifer is so hard LD carried by other units, to be honest. Like, if you have Lucifer plus other LDs, he's like 80 plus. Without it, he's nothing. Christina. I think Christina is fake as fuck as well. Oh, the other Christina. Chris. This one. Is actually on 3% pick rate. That is true. 49 on the win rate. Is also just carried by having like some kind of LD combination. Valeska. Just a Valeska unit. And to be honest, Valeska's not even doing that great at the moment, right? No, Valeska's also having a rough time in the current meta. So if it was more of a Valeska meta, it would be higher. Definitely in lower ranks, I do expect this unit... Wait, if we go back to a previous one. Lower ranks, you're doing better. Yeah, 100% expected that. But in high ranks, people just fuck you up. We saw one on Nemesis in the last swell. I was not a big fan. Moving on next. Of course, a Beetle. Probably high win rate. No, actually, 50.7 on the win rate. That's lower than I expected. 6.6 on the pick rate. I think it's a really strong unit in the right draft, though. At least 85, but I'm kind of aiming 87.5. Win rates are not really representing that. 75? No, at least 85. At least 85. I feel like he doesn't get that many matches in, though. No, I think that Viva is better. Yeah, the ban rate on... He is the second most banned unit, that is true. We already saw that earlier. Like, having this high of a ban rate, that's a something. Funny enough, he drops down by win rate the moment he makes it into the match. That's a something. Can't skill through Gandalf Reflect. Yeah, but you cannot draft him that often. So I think I'm giving him 85, because you cannot draft him that often. But it's definitely one of those... If you lock it in last, it's often must ban, and that is quite a high value, in my opinion. So I guess I'll give it 85. CD Reset kills Bilze. Kind of, yeah. Maybe there's too many drafts where you can just not lock it in because of Okeanos and shit. And against Bruisers, not that great. Well, it's mainly good against AoE CC on your enemy team. Or AoE some damage that they kill it early. I feel like he's better than the units in here, so I'll keep him 85.5. Beast Riders. Starting off with Barbara. Never picked. Marsha. Still some picks. Maybe he's making a little bit of a comeback due to Eshir being strong. When people start picking Okeanos, Beals fall more off. True. Therefore, you mostly want to pair the one with the two. At least there's not as much Oliver anymore. That kind of helps his case. But Marsha, I think still a good 80-ish. Savannah, barely used. Narsha. Technically, don't have to place it in because below 2% pick rate. But I give Nasha some credits. Issue is Nasha's kind of hard to rune, and that's mostly the issue on her in general. What is the best stat setup for her? Crit damage attack, yeah, that's the thing. Like, crit rate is mostly not really cutting it. Who the hell puts that on HP? What the fuck is even that? Put her on 90. Ammo, do you want to get your units nerfed? Calm down, mate. I guess... To be honest, like, she's kind of same to a Marsha for me. Like, you have to put that much good runes to her to actually make it good. Better than me, Ying? Yeah, I think it's... No, I'm guessing I'm gonna put it on 75 because it used too much fucking runes that you don't want to place on her. If you put those there, she's good, but without that, nah. Well, then again, same thing for Siana. She's 0.5 pick rate, but if we look at the top players, fuck your bitches. Fuck your bitches not using this unit. I'm the only one. I like this unit, not gonna lie. I'm legit the only one fucking playing this shit. Yeah, Sambi Sepp is a fraud. He doesn't even play this shit anymore. But I think she's good, though. I'm just gonna place her in. Like, for me, how good she is, she's legit up here. Here or here. Legit. But then you need the right runes for it, and you need it to be Vio and crit damage on the 4 and Ack on the 6. So I think for the average player base that maybe doesn't have... Well, still, with the Erishan combo, you don't even need like a Gianna next to that or anything, so... And honestly, it needs good runes, so I'll just put it next to that, 75. Since we have more of an AoE CC meta. And that is a very biased pick there, but I'm still gonna place it in. As Masters, Humble! 0% pick rate. That's how we like to see it. Hey gang, 25% pick rate. It's probably one of the higher picked units in game, right? You are number 6 on the most picked unit in game, but your win rate is even dropping when you make it into the match. So you're 75 and yeah, he's hell overpicked. Wait, I also want to see people first picking Hey Gang. Do you have higher win rate with a first pick Hey Gang, or do you have a low win rate with first pick Hey? Yeah, first pick Hey Gang is ass. Like, first picking Hey Gang in G3 does not work. I'm so sure in lower ranks you get away with it. Yeah. The lower rank you are, the better Hey Gang is. And the earlier it is picked and the earlier it's still good. But in G3, you want to pick it, like, midway. You don't want to pick that shit early, because you're going to be lacking damage. Hey Gang still overall is good, though. He is overpicked, but if he was less picked, I feel like he's still 85. Because he's still, in the end, trying to counter a few things that are hard to counter, such as Giannas and other things. And even into Megumi and Shiho, that thing becomes a fucking ragdoll for the attack bar you gain. I think it's just too spammed, and that is an issue. But I still think Hey Gang is 85. I still think it's a really strong unit. Wasn't I one of the higher Hey Gang users? Okay, I'm number 9, not as much. Joe Gunner. Definitely a keep for a runed up. Yep. Just a good old, like, 205, 210 Swift set, but definitely keep up one of these, because if you outspeed everything, you put a Nobara in the trap, you probably have a good match. Not picked as much, though. Yeah, I think an 80 is fine. Asherbu is also in the kind of glades, Hey Gang, just be faster. Chunk Pong. I do like myself Chunk Pong from time to time. 52.5. 1.3 on the pick. Only thing that I have with Chunk Pong is, isn't the Charlotte just better in a lot of cases? Because the cooldown increase of Chunk Pong is cool, but a lot of the units that you're trying to fight with a Chunk Pong are turn 2 units that have asked for cooldowns anyways. But he's more of like a leftover despair set-ish 75 kind of thing. Secondary strip for damage. Yeah, that's true. But then you have to put good runes to him, though. I'll give him a 75. Going into more. Glorious, can you stop inting with this unit? Holy fuck, what did you do to him? 46 on the win rate? God damn it, are you one of the lowest win rates for a unit that is high on pick rate, or what's the deal with that? Number 2. It is after the Meo Wang, the worst unit in game. Wind Monkey aware. Yeah, that's a Wind Monkey issue right there. Oh, damn, Jesus. Oliver's even in the top 10 worst units. Yeah, he hurt him bad. He hurt him hella bad. Do we put him 75? I also feel, wait, I'm curious, what is the Tech More Rage build? Is it actually winning more? No. That's also, Rage More is on a 35% win rate? That doesn't do shit, brother. That doesn't do shit. Despair Will is also hella ass. Fire Will seems to be best. Yeah, 75er? 75er is fair. Well, we dropped the Monkey lower. Well, that's also the thing. People are saying Light Gojo's still good, but Light Gojo is actually very close to a More. And More is even a more consistent stripper than a Light Gojo. Can you imagine that? Yeah, that's the thing. A More, like the Tech Mores, also the Tech More on Despair has to Despair, otherwise he asks. And then he has to Despair the right target, which the luck of the draw kind of bites you in the ass by that point. Dugarlos. You. I guess Douglas doesn't have that many of good matchups these days. I still like to have a Douglas rune though, but not having a great matchup. There is definitely a noticeable difference in Nemesis. Nemesis makes him a lot better than Blade or Will. And that is understandable. Benny's Douglas is 100. Benny's RNG is 100. If his Douglas wins anything, man, holy shit. Like the fucking Douglas of Benny, when he sees the runes equipped to himself, he's just like, give me a rope, man. I'm done. How the fuck can that ever counter anything? Carneler. Close to 50 win rate, 5 on the pick. I think it's just one of those Zoggy turn 2 units. Like, if you're still playing like Carnal, Nyx plus an Annabelle in every goddamn game, you're just a sacker. Like, I have no clue how he can win with Carnal, in all honesty. Maybe as a Leo counter, I can argue for that on an HP crit damage attack. Or a HP crit damage HP. No attack, of course. I can argue for that. But as a speed contesting unit, Carnal? Nah, not my cup of tea. By win rates, though, I'll give it an 80. We're making a Cigar. Ooh, 51 on the win rates. It's actually making a little bit of a comeback. I'll guess I'll give you an 80 as well. If you put good runes to this, you probably have to go via... Oh, actually, no, wait. Swift is doing not too bad. Probably like a 200 Swift set or something. Interesting. I can see its value, but the issue is his cooldown on the S3 is horrendously fucking long. So that will give him a little bit of issues. Moving on next to Greg. I thought Greg would be higher win rate. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I expected higher win rate out of him. 6 on the pick rate, which is pretty high, but win rate, not that high. I still, however, kind of value Greg. Because Greg enables a lot of LDs. Or not a lot of LDs, but enables a lot of comms. Where did you put Van Cleef? Van Cleef was 0.5% pick rate, so I didn't put it anywhere. Gurkha, probably also one of the lowest pick rates in game. 0.3 on the 40 win rate. Nice, we like that. Shizuka, the other sacking unit. 10% pick rate. Shizuka's making a comeback. I hate this unit, man. It's like, I stunned the whole team. Shizuka's, no, proc out. I stun your whole team. Uno reverse. Fuck you. Yeah. Definitely an 85. But are we looking towards an 87.5? It is a nice counter into the Shiho, though. No, I think 85 is fine. 50 on the win rate. It's pretty high on ban rate, though. And does enable a lot of bullshit comps. Yeah, there's more than one comp good to her. That is kind of a thing. Like, when she picked mostly... Yeah, towards the late pick, she's kind of annoying. By mostly res. I'll still give an 85. I think 85 is fine. Tomoe. I haven't seen Tomoe being picked in a while. Yep, makes sense. Gyu, same thing. Oh, Gyu is actually still picked. the fuck are people still picking Gyu? All of her meta is gone. You don't need Gyus anymore. As for unit, 65er, that's all you get. Yeah. Seiishizo though. Seiishizo is a good unit. Wow, Seiishizo picked is actually kind of low. 50.5 on the win rate. That's actually the lowest I've seen Seiishizo in a while as well. Despair Revenge, hey, I've been telling you boys. Fucking you don't need your Seiishizo to proc. There is no freaking reason for your Seiishizo to proc unless you're really planning on sacking. Anti-heal? Yeah, that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. Drakan kind of messes her up. That's true. That's true. I still think she's pretty good, though. Also, her ban rate is pretty crazy high. I'm also pretty sure that if we see top players, I'm probably one of them, right? Or I just did not know. I was top of them in the pre-balance patch. Over here, I had pretty high win rate on her. Oh, also doesn't show, apparently. Thought I had a high win rate on this unit. Either, doesn't matter. Seiishizo. I feel like Seiishizo is that too far-fetched? By pick rates and win rates, yeah. By how I feel about her, yeah, she just doesn't get that much play. That's the main thing. I feel like she's good. In the right draft, she's really good. But she doesn't get that much play, which is kind of just the issue. And if she's that good of a play, yeah, as you guys mentioned, then she's probably the ban. So that also doesn't really help you out there. Also, I gotta check one thing real quick because I might be running out of disk space. So just 1 second, let me delete a few files. I just noticed that we're already recording for an hour. And then at some point, my PC might be like, yeah, we don't like that shit. It's like, yeah, understandable. So let me just delete a little bit over there. And a little bit over there. And how much disk space do we have right now? 44 gigs left after I deleted a bunch of shit. I was running hella low already. Nice. Yeah, 85 is what we're gonna give her for that. Duman. Low on the pick rate. Does have some issues with the shields that are heavily out there right now. Ban rate is crazy high, though. I still like myself a Duman. But I think she gets even less play than Seiishizo, so I'll give that an 80. And she has the issue, if she lands, is good. If not, is ass. I haven't seen a Hinky in ages. That makes sense. This one. Spicked a little bit. I felt for the people that were spamming crack, he actually made a little bit of a comeback, but you kind of need like other LDs to pair with him to be any good. So Onmyouji 65. Onmyouji, funny enough story, at some point I put it at 100 because it was best unit on SWC Meta 2022, I think. It was hard carrying people. And then people were like, if you get my unit nerfed, I'm gonna quit the game. I'm like, yo, I'm just pointing out the obvious, the unit's OP. When the unit got nerfed, he came back to the video, said, I'm gonna quit. It's like, brother, I have zero influence on fucking what gets buffed and nerfed, brother. I just point out the obvious. The unit was crazy good. Yeah, do with it what you want, I don't care. No. They overdid his nerf. I 100% agree on that, though. Is he a decent pick against the AoE stuns? He's okay, but he kind of needs to S1 armor break into S2 rotation to get anywhere, so he needs the death breaks already. Layla exists, that's also a thing. More and more things have anti-cleanse, that's true. Nana, not too bad on the numbers, kind of expected lower, but Nana, good old 75. I feel like you're fine over there. Coco, terrible. Momo, terrible. Dorothy, no one uses this. Kiki, no one uses that. Nice. On to the next family. Man, I like it where I can click through the whole family like that. Red West, you made an insane thing with this. Looks like GG. Oliver. This is the worst we have seen Oliver since the history of Oliver. He's actually number 10 worst unit on 3% pick rate plus if we're looking purely by win rate, I think. Number 8 worst unit in game. And even when he's in the match, he goes down by another 0.9%. That's where we like to see Oliver. Oliver, where do we place you at? I still think people should keep their Oliver ruined for a 5th pick if you need to reset things or you need a 33 lead. But in overall sense, Oliver, you get a 75 from me. Of Oliver? No, we're fine. We're fine. Swift Oliver is actually... Okay, but that's also a very niche amount for people. So, wait, I expected the late pick Oliver to do better, but a late pick Oliver even does worse. Or maybe late pick Olivers just don't have any fucking runes on them. I don't know. I still feel like you should keep your Oliver rune up. Just on mediocre runes, don't be fully in tune, yada yada, that kind of stuff. Miles. Miles not doing too great neither. 47 on the win rate. I feel like Miles needs too many runes that I would rather put on a Gandalf. Like, he kind of shares similar runes to a Gandalf or an Angela or Racuni. And I way rather put them on a Gandalf, Angela, and Racuni than a Miles these days. Might be that Miles is kind of the counter against these fuckers. That could actually be a thing. What is your good win rate against? Is decent on win rate against the Josephine. Where's the Gandalf at? Does Gandalf mess you up? No, Gandalf does mess you up. And Wind Monkey messes you up. Yeah, good point, good point. And then pretty much the whole other population, such as Eshir, kills you. And Annavels. Yeah, okay, never mind. 70 on the Miles. Not gonna be putting too much effort in that thing. Daniel. Low enough on the pick rate that I'm not gonna pick it in. It is one of those units. It's really a Vivachel unit on steroids and crack and everything. If it gets the turn in the right moment, crazy good. If it doesn't, absolute ass. But then that is this whole kit rather than Vivachel has still some other things going for it. Jackson, imagine pulling this unit over a fucking Gianna. Okay, on to the next. What do we have next? Robos. Man, that you didn't ask me. That was at the time Gianna was at her all-time low, and I would have still said go for Gianna, 100%. Robo, wow, that's the lowest win rate we've seen on a Dark Robo in ages. Wind one, also not. Okay, none of these Robos have any playtime, it seems. I still feel myself on a Wind Robo on a right draft, not that bad. Do we see some Rileys these days? 2% on the pick rate, so we do see a little bit of Riley, but Riley gets by 75 from me. Like, I'd rather draft a Wusa than a Riley by a long shot, but if you need the attack buff, then I can kind of get that. It's kind of where we no longer have the active silence meta, and in the active silence meta is where she got more play. Ella, however, gets a bit of play. Ella is really nice against all of those super hard turn 2 shenanigans. I've seen Monkey God class, whatever his name, play a lot with this thing. He does also Irene Ella, which is a little bit toxic and a little bit annoying. But then again, he's fighting off toxic and annoying, so it is understandable. Ella 85. I feel like Ella 85 is value. Maybe even this. Well, I would say Ella with the right LD pairs is definitely 90. But without, I think I'll give it this. There's a lot of shit that pairs well with her, though. Wait, what are the best pairs with her? Yeah, not surprised, not surprised. Good old pair with Gianna. Good pair with Legolas, but why? Okay, not that many picks though. Irene, understandable. Okeanos, okay, stronger units in the meta. What does she do bad with? Okay, interesting that she does do bad with a Sonya. I expect a Sonya for double nuke to be strong. What do you lose against? Legolases, Okeanos, Hathors, Sonyas. I'll put her over here. I feel like she should be getting a little bit more play. I feel like she's strong. Moving on to some Carlos. The other Carlos. Too long pick rate. This thing, no pick rate. Dominic, no pick rate. I'm sad. I missed. Oh, Dominic. Dominic was fun. Maximilian, 52 on the win rate, 4.4 on the pick rate. Maxi's coming back, boys. Maxi is hella coming back. Why is Maxi coming back? Well, Eshir and Draken Warriors. That is the main thing. Eshir, Draken Warriors. Do kind of need a second AoE strip next to that, but his pick rate is a little bit low. Therefore, no, his pick rate is too low. Otherwise, he would be a 90. And you kind of need one extra LD to make him work. Because if you just go this thing plus Eshir plus double Draken Warriors, the other speed or the other strip that you kind of want from him is mostly an LD. So that's, I'll say Maxi over here. Triton is ass, man. Triton, where's Triton at? 80. Yeah, you could kind of Triton, but when you're going onto a Triton, you really have to land everything. And that's kind of an issue. Ban rate is pretty decent, though. Well, wait, let's see what he has strong pairs with. If he has strong pairs mainly with elemental units, I gave him one higher. Jogun, okay. Tiana, okay. Okay, fair. To be honest, I see more normal elemental units than LDs. I'll give him a 90. I'll give him a 90. I definitely should rune up a Tiana looking at this shit. I should. Moving on next. It also helps if Tiana Maxi does S3, S2. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with Maxi. If he S3s, but he doesn't absorb on all and he gets like 50 bar, it's like, you can't move. Like, that just sucks. Best tier list ever. We had Maxi way higher than this before. That was the Maxi Veronica meta. But that one was not that long, though. Going on to some... What the fuck's the thing? Shadowcaster. Shadow, that's how you write it. Ren, never used. This thing, never used. Actually, Right Minato doesn't feel that bad these days. Ritsu does. Okay, moving on. Amber. Amber. I'm surprised about Amber's low pick rate. I expected Amber to be more in pick rate. At least like 2%, but apparently not high enough. Sonya is crazy on the ban. Still 50 on the win rate. Is one of the lower Sonya win rates we have seen in a while. Minato just gets stunned and dies. Yeah, that's kind of true. Sonya, though. I feel like Sonya is... is one of those units, if she kills and the threat is there, it's just so damn powerful. The thing that I've noticed about Sonya myself, and wait, is this still for top players that I'm on a... Yeah, like this. It's not that many matches, but I'm on a 70% win, or like close to 70% win rate with a Sonya that had a 205 extra speed. And you might be like, yo, what the fuck does that even mean? Why was it that slow? Well, I wasn't speed contesting with it. Like, it's now a little bit faster because I opened up this room, but I legitimately had it ruined like this. Where are you at? This room was over there. This was my Sonya, and I think it was still lacking a little bit more. Why is this good? It's because you do so much damage, because how Sonya passive works, you only need 50 extra speed on the enemy to have the full extra passive damage of Sonya. So you could be 150 extra speed, you still do the 50 extra speed damage. So after that, where do your damage come from? Crit damage and attack. So if this is potentially sniping out a water unit because they're slower, or a dark unit, which I mostly did against ragdolls, then the Sonya is really strong. But since Sonya is often used to speed contest and then also still try to hit the attack threshold and that kind of shit, then you're kind of hitting the issue where Sonya gets a little bit worse. So I feel Sonya for a really late pick is good. Sonya for an early pick is kind of bad. But back to Sonya. Win rates. 50s, 40. I feel like she's still 90. I feel like she's still 90 because of her ban rate. Like, her ban rate is just crazy. And Josu, thanks for the rate, man. Highly appreciate it. Yeah, 90 for Sonya is what I feel like. But Sonya is hard to rune. That is 100% true. And there's a lot of units to rune on high speed these days. But you can make her a little bit slower. Try her out at 5 or 10 or maybe even 15 speed slower, but just nuking one specific target you lose against, you might have pretty good success with that. Veronica. Ooh, Veronica's actually making a comeback. Is understandable. I feel like that Veronica kind of has strength in current meta. Do we give her an 80 or even 85? Just a simple swift build. Yeah, that's what I expected. Thing with Veronica is that she's a double-edged sword. If she lands the increases, crazy good. If she doesn't land the increases, very mid. But no, I think I'll just place that on an 80. But to be honest, if good against Josephine, that is true. But it's bad against Megumi. No, it's kind of bad against Megumi, kind of bad against Shinx. Like, these two issues you still have. But in all honesty, I'd be happier with a Veronica than a Vivachel. 100%. Because I'm not a big Vivachel fan. And Veronica, I would probably use a bit more. I would probably hate the fucking living shit out of the unit if she starts missing. That's a different story. But I would rather use a Veronica than a Vivacho, 100%. Hot take? No, 100%. The odds for me having Vivacho in my top 3 is very low. I'm gonna be the biased guy. I put her on 85. I feel like Veronica has strength in current meta. Then we move on to coolest unit in game in my opinion, but absolutely has no playstyle. Yep. Gingerberry. I think it's called Thomas in this one, right? Yeah, okay. Ash. Gazelle. I must say, Chloe is a real one. I told him, it's like, Chloe, you're fake. You're not even picking Gazelle and RTA. I match up against Chloe. Chloe locks in Gazelle first pick. He hella lost that draft, though. But he a real one. That's all I can say. But it's not going to be on the tier list. Unit has too low pick rate. You should pick it more, man. Any of those, too low pick rates. Adriana. I'm not sure if Adriana actually gets enough play. Wait, did I actually... Oh, I do have her in here. Good. Because she could. This thing... No, it's just a bunch of random cleavers. I'll place it in, but... Just if you really want to go Hail Mary on the random cleaves, it's good. Otherwise, nah. Lucia. I am still a decent Lucia fan. I was more of a Lucia fan in the pushback meta with Olivers and Ventons. Doesn't have that much shine at the moment. But still enough shine where I would say definitely keep one runed up. Triple Revenge. You're most likely not really using those runes anywhere. I'll still give Lucia an 80. But I'm definitely a Lucia fan. I'm pretty sure that I was also one of the more Lucia users out there. Okay, not even enough to get her in there. But I feel like she's still decent. Wait, did I place her 80? Maybe 75. Doesn't get that much play. Angela. Angela is a bit low on the win rate. But pick rate is 8.8, which is not too bad. Toxic, annoying unit, hate it, but it's good. And that's definitely an 80 right there. And then this one, that is a new upcoming unit. I'm surprised about it. Wait, why is this win rate so low? I expected her to do way better. Like 100% way better. Because I've seen people like Pinkroid, Glorious, play with this. And they are doing good. I thought they were doing good. Fuck, Glorious, why are you hinting this? Why are you hinting? Okay, then it just worked good for a Pinkroid. Like, fuck. I thought this unit was good because you strip the enemy without touching anything. You take attack bar, and then you can go for an S2 to Oblivion things. That sounds pretty strong in current meta if you're playing a strong turn 1 kind of comp. I'm placing it in. I think she's strong. I would definitely use this. Maybe that's a little bit far-fetched, but... Let her be bad so she can be buffed. I think she's actually strong because she counters the... If you play the Draken Warrior Wind, the enemy goes Megumi Shiho. You got both kind of covered, which is a rare thing. Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, no, actually, straight up 80 at least. If you play Irision, to be honest, 85. It's just a base speed that's mad. You only need like a plus 210 set. You don't have to be fast. Like the plus 210 Vio or a Swift Will, you're good. You don't need Vio on that. In Ancient Coin Shop, you definitely want to go for the Vampire. And, well, Frodo comes in later, but you can still pick up Frodo from the event. But anything else, you don't care. Yeah, to be honest, this might be a biased take, but I think she's actually really good. But only if you play Irision. Oh, Friend. Yeah, pick Friend as well. Friend is really good. Moving on. Next, we go into some Zibalas. Basic 210, Vio set. No, Swift. Not Vio. Zibala. I think Raider is the only one Zibala playing these days. And I'm not a big fan. He is the biggest Juno Vampire victim I'm playing against. Can I see the value on... Like, I feel like it's only paired with Laura's. Like, without the Laura, you're not playing this unit. It's actually played with Irision, surprised. Yeah, it's only doing good with Laura's. Like, all of the other things, well, Irision is not doing that bad. But I think that you have to aim into an Irision that's Swift, which is kind of awkward. I'll give Zibala an 80. Do I, though? Well, actually, it opens up some drafts, though. But issue is, this thing... fucks her up. Bunch of other things kind of fuck her up. I'll give it an 80. I'll give it an 80. Zima, nah. This thing, nah. This thing. Kovaci. Kovaci 50 on a 9.3 on the pick. I'm personally not the biggest Kovaci fan because if you have to play Kovaci, then Kovaci is mostly a first pick or a second pick. And then your draft is kind of know what's coming. There's going to be some single target nukes and that kind of shit. So, does Eshir need high egg? No. Eshir, you want crit rate. Accuracy could legit be like 5 or 10. You don't care. Do we aim higher for Kovaci? I'm not a big Kovaci fan. I don't know. I feel like the draft is just... The draft is doing too little against Eretion to actually be strong. What are your strong pairs? Win rate with Okeanos. It's kind of weird. Tianlang, hella weird. Eretion. What the fuck would you draft Kovaci together with an Eretion? Only the Sierra of these make sense. Like, none of these fucking pairs from Kovaci make sense. Only Sierra makes sense. Fuck you. You're gonna stay at 80. I don't like you. Zenizek. Anti-stun meta? Surprised that you're not doing better. Really surprised you're not doing better. Wait, why? Maybe too many issues against Gandalfs? With cleanses for the bombs? I don't know. Heal block? Yeah, okay. Heal block and also Layla's, I guess. Layla really fucks him up as well. He was one of my top wanted as well. Till Layla came around. I still think a late pick, Zenizek, is really strong. Like, ban must be high, right? Yeah, ban is definitely high. So, the only thing is with Zenizek, would I give him my fastest Vio set that outspeeds my whole team right now? Probably not. I would just kind of tweak it-ish to do it with a Nem set probably or something rather than Revenge. Layla needs to go. Well, that's the thing. It could still be a 5th pick then, right? Burger! Vor? Wait, Astrid? No, Burgild. 2% on pick rates, close to 50 on the win rate. It's kind of making a comeback. Definitely Vio sets, right? Vio Seal. Interesting. Interesting. Speed, HP, accuracy. I'm surprised about that. I was expecting speed, HP. Triple HP even. Interesting. I would say I don't mind a Burgild these days. Would not necessarily classify it as really good. But she's definitely making a comeback where she's interesting. Still a little bit by the odds of do you actually land, but it's 100% a fire unit right now. In all honesty, I still feel like that they should lower her base speed and put the Awakening into having higher activation rates on skill 1 and skill 2. As in doing that for an upgrade on the passive or some shit. But 85 for Burgild. I think Burgild is pretty strong. Plus, it doesn't really take too much runes of what you would place elsewhere. And needs good additional damage artifacts. Those are pretty important. Secrets. 51 on the win rate, 4 on the pick. That's higher than I expected. What are you paired with? Mostly Vanessa, makes sense. Yeah, I was thinking already. Zenitsu's players. Freaking Zenitsu players. I think it's more Zenitsu carry than Sigrid doing any good these days. Do I like you more than a Kovaci? That is a big question. I think, personally, for coolness, I would say Sigrid. But in overall usage, I would say Kovaci. Zenius DU? Yeah, most likely. So, just gotta put Sigrid 75. I'm not a big Sigrid fan. Plus, Sigrid is also really on, like, you kind of want to have a Han and blah, blah, blah. And even then, like, the big Han Sigrid spammers from back then are not playing it as much. I think. No, win rate is showing a little bit high. I'll give it 80. She has a good skill 1, skill 2. Yeah, no, because of the skill 1, skill 2 value, especially skill 1 compared to his, or like, yeah, his skill 1. Pretty sure they claimed it at some point that it was a he. Or whatever it is. I would say 80 is fine. Make Han great again. Well, Han is kind of ass at the moment. Scrolling down. Kiara and Federica also was one of the lowest win rates. Federica doesn't really fit in current meta that much unless you're playing like Yan Honks and shit. Still 75, would keep one runed up, doesn't use anything else. Federica, or yeah, the Cassandra, which is Kiara, is actually one of the highest win rate units in game. But I think it's legit only paired when you have, well, Shizuka's. I was expecting Yan Hong, actually. Or maybe like this. Yeah, Yan Hong. It's a really hard Yan Hong paired unit. And then Yan Hong Zibala, then it's good. Without that, pretty much unusable. Like, that's just the thing. Yeah, like, actually, that's why Yan Hong would be nice for me. Because I do have Kiara, I do have Jian, and the pair of the three is kind of nice. But without that, pretty much, like, just focused on the hard pair. Without the hard pair, you're probably not even gonna ruin it up. So I'll give it 75. No, I'll give you an 80, because you could maybe sneak it in here and there, but most cases, it's just, no, it's too hard carried by multiple LDs. Like, you need a very specific LD, otherwise it's just trash and not usable, and you don't even want to ruin it up. Bayek. I did not even know you guys were called Omar and Ahmed. Sure. Also took quite a hit. 50.4 on the win rate. Is that an issue that people just don't have runes left over to drop on in anymore? That is my issue personally. It's still a strong unit, but I just don't feel like he's strong enough where I'm going to put good runes to him. So I'll give him an 80 for that. Sahat. Oh, yeah. What the fuck is this win rate? Well, I played against one recently. I find it fucking ass as well, but that's what it shows in win rate too. This. Bring back Sahat. No thanks. Indra, starting off with Parjana, highest win rate unit in game, I think. But most likely, yeah, he's still the highest win rate unit, but he's 3% pick rate against a 41.6% pick rate. The fuck is this shit even, man? Holy hell. He is good as a late pick. That's the main thing. Like, he's just a really late pick. Late picks in general do better. Like, we can see that over here. Yeah, kind of, yeah, if he's picked too early, it just doesn't do anything. Salah's not picked enough. I can guarantee you that. I can check it for you. But Salah's 0.4% pick rate. I was generous. They call him Say the Generous on 0.4. This dude is picked in one fucking game. One! God damn it. Still 53 win rate, 0.7. Yep, Parjana's really good. It's definitely recommend. I should draft him. I should think about him a little bit more. I give him an 85. It's definitely one of those units you absolutely want to keep ruined up. I might even consider this. No, he has a little bit too much issue. He doesn't get that much playtime. Like, the thing is, if he had more playtime, he would be lower in win rate, for sure. But he's good, though. But he's 85 good. Or is he this good? No, I feel like he's actually this good. Yeah, I feel like it. Because he's so often the must ban. However, his brother... Yeah, you got gutted, sir. You got hella Gurkhat right there. Best I can do, 70. Yeah. Yeah, best I can do, Phantom 70. That's, I'm not gonna give you a... Chakra, however, I'm still liking myself a Chakra. Chakra as a 5th pick. You don't even have to despair it. I think that's... Okay, despair in the end plus will does do better. Or you want to despair, you don't have to will it. That's what I wanted to say. Mainly as a 5th pick. I think he's pretty much always picked in the 5th, right? Yeah, that's why you see his highest win rates climb. Picked in the 5th. And you already have an Eshir on the field, or at least in your draft. And then this becomes your second strip. Chakra still really solid. Because also Draken Warriors, Chakra, Eshir in there, he becomes viable. 70 seems high. Yeah, you're right, 65. Fuck you, Vandon. Well, Counter says fuck you. Thank you. Devaraja. Devaraja is also low. Devaraja is kind of everything that Parjana wants, or Parjana is, Devaraja wants to be. Like, Devaraja 80, to be honest. Can't really give you more. No, don't like the unit that much. This unit way better because of the healing. Like, it's just the healing. The healing makes him better. And the double life. That part is annoying as well. But mainly the healing. Diaz not played enough. Nope. Irene. Oh, this unit, does it work to find? Okay, Devil Maiden, because she has like the fucking thingy on the E. I have no clue what that's called in English. In Dutch, we say the same word as in French, which is a trema. But yeah, whatever. Probably doesn't work in English. What do we have for this thing? French Flair, something like that. 10% pick rate. Low on the win rate, though. Her win rate ass. Like, you're legit one of the lowest win rates, no? Number 6 lowest win rate. Yeah, and even when in the match, she drops down to a 46.3. That's low. That's hella low. Yeah, kind of ass for unit if you don't pair it with Ella. If you pair it with Ella, she's 85 instantly. If you pair it without an Ella, I still think an 80. She has decent ban rate, right? Yeah, 24 on the ban. It's that she's trying to find something that's super difficult because it's annoying bullshit passives that you're trying to find. I still give her an 80. I still think that people... She's also not really using runes you would use anywhere else. Like just a 190 to a 200 Swift wheel set that is tanky. It's not that hard to rune, so still 80. Bloodjan not used. Layla. Layla's used a lot. Not the highest of win rates. 49 on the win rate, but I still think Layla is 85. By just the sheer fact of her usage. I think Layla spammed a little bit too much. If she would be more picked towards the end of the pick phase, she would be stronger, which is very noticeable over here. The earlier you pick your Ella or your Layla, the earlier you're gonna get no Barat. Like this is where you get no Barat. This is where you don't get no Barat. That's pretty much just what the case is. Because I'm very certain that if we check this, yeah, TL lengths kind of makes sense. Why is no Bara over here? Yeah, that's also by far the highest picked against, because this is all like a few hundred numbers, 2k. So yeah, you don't really want to give the option for the enemy to Nobara you, or to, yeah, Nobara you when you're Layla. But still, Layla is a good late pick, 85, strong unit. Jessica, haven't seen her being used all that much. Not used this thing, never used. 0 games. 0. Absolute trash unit. Pretty much, she's actually, I guess, my least used LD5 that I have. Uldonger, that thing actually used. I only know one player using Uldong, and he's about G2-ish level these days, so Uldong is not really making it. Neither for these. Gapsco? Gapsco is still there. I see some people go for Mr. Gapsco for a counter to a Gandalf. It's not the worst. It's not the best. Do I feel Gapso better than Angela? Same, but different. Gapso is not bad. Yeah, I'm not sure if I feel like Gapso is better than an Angela. Yeah, he's better. He's definitely better against Gandalf than Angela is against Gandalf. That is 100% sure. So, yeah, I would say a Gapsco is actually not doing too bad. 85 on Mr. Gapso. I'm curious about, does he always needs to be Nem? No, there's actually a fair bit of people that just drop energy on him for healing more. I would definitely not go Vio. Vio is for those sacking people that spam it. But if you use it as a counter pick, Nem or energy is totally fine. And definitely do not go rest. What the fuck is even that? Keep that shit hidden. Twin Angels are... win. Okay. 49.3 on the win rate. 12.5 on the pick rate. Making a bit of a comeback. I'm not the biggest of fans of Twin Angels at the moment, though. I feel like that they're 80 for me. Similar to like Sierra and Vanessa. Like, there are an option for first picking. But to be honest, a Megumi, Xingzi, or Erishion is way better for first pick, in my opinion. And it's just a first pick unit. You're not really gonna late pick this unit, right? Yeah, that's also like, if you second pick it, a little bit later pick it, not full late, then it's a little bit more value, but yeah. This thing though, I feel like that this one, as the Fire Twins, has a bit of value because of the immunity, because of some damage, because of cooldowns, resets. There's a little bit of everything, so... But then again, same level for me. Which is not a bad level. These ones, barely picked ever. All three of them are barely picked, where I barely even have to play them in. But I think I'll still play them. These ones, I feel like that there's too many other good strips, so kind of put it at 75. Also, this thing wants to be Despair, and there's way too many units on Despair right now that want to be good. Greg is placed over there. Light Twins. Oh, Light Twins. Personally, I did like Light Twins in a lot of metas. Like, really like Light Twins. Especially with Vanton, those kind of things. Light Twins Vanton was super strong. But right now, what does Light Twin really pair with? Sierras, but I'm not the biggest Sierra fan. Outside of that, maybe not that much. Nothing Puppet. Well, I felt like the other accounts that I played on it were way better. Jogun is 80, by the way. I do agree, Jogun 80. But I think Light Twins are kind of similar-ish to Jogun. Slightly different, but similar-ish. Bit more damage. Water Twins, better. Yeah. Absolute use it with Legolas. Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, what are strong pairs for this unit at the moment? Okay, barely used with anything, sure. Does apparently Lamilia, sure. Okeanos, yeah, I can kind of get Okeanos value, Song Lao. Yeah, it does kind of fit in the meta as secondary stripper. I'll give it an 85. I think it's still a strong unit. Maybe even used too little. Dark Twins. To be honest, I feel like Dark Twins are only used by LD spammers. Such as Benny. It's pretty much only used by Benny, to be honest. Top players, Benny has to be in here, right? Wait, Benny, what the fuck? You're even on a 50 win rate with that unit. Fuck, I was expecting more of you. 50 win rate. Well, at least it's above 50. I think Dark Twins are nice, but only in the very specific draft. So I'm gonna drop it 75. Some people might disagree because some specific people do very good with it, but then you check the whole rest of the box of those specific people, and it's LD, 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 and Dark Twins. And I think then, at that moment, Dark Twins is good. But you're really forcing yourself into a very specific clay for him, boosting up a Lucifer. Yeah, okay, that makes it very strong. But still, 75 is not a bad take. It's not a bad unit. We have seen way worse. Lars. I'm curious to see if Lars actually gets decent play. Absolutely fucking not. Interesting. Series. Rigna. Well, this is just played by the people that play Loras and Sibalas. Which... Oh, and it's also played by the Eshir Tablo players. This is a little bit too specific for my liking. I really think that she is crazy good, but she takes too long to survive to get her stacks up. If she had some little bit of surviving mechanics, she'd be fucking insane. Absolutely top tier right away. But she just needs a little bit of a surviving mechanic in her passive. A gen on water. Never picked. This thing, never picked. We saw this thing on, what's it called? EWS. It was ass. Kit. Never picked. Tricks is picked. Tricks, apparently, I did rune up myself at Tricks as well. It's most common on Despair, right? Yep. Apparently, he is good against Gandalfers. Supposedly. Oh yeah, over here. So this is the good against, is this side. Not super convincing, but might be a counter against Gandalf. I think I'll give you an 85. Does need, like the issue he has is 100 base, so tuning to his shit on the Despair or Vial, you actually have to drop some pretty decent runes to him to make him good. Which I think in a lot of cases people don't really have left over for him. And his odds of landing the buff blocks, need some ammo runes to attune to tricks. Agree. I'm OP. Yeah, I think I'm gonna one down him for that reason. Because you need to invest really good runes into him to get him anywhere. Also, his passive helps to clear shields. That's kind of true, But you definitely have some Nambara issues if you lock that thing in early. This thing never used. Silver, 2% pick rate, 52.7 on the winner. I think he's a good late pick immunity backup unit. Oh, it's actually kind of consistent everywhere. Did you miss any of your LDs? Yeah, you have so many, I can't keep track. I have no clue, man. I feel like silver for me is an 85. Trick's actually pretty strong against Aya. Yeah, I'm not sure about Tricks, though. Oh, yeah, Dark Twins. I put Dark Twins at 75. Because fuck you, you only need more LDs to get that thing barking. Yeah, nah, maybe I'll put the Fire Hacker on this as well. It is hard to rune him up, but if you have him rune up, he could actually do pretty well. And Silver, kind of 85 for me as well. The 33 lead is still strong. You just have to pick it late so you don't get fucking Nobarat. That's the main issue. Don't get Nobarat. There's a bunch of units that say that shit. If I get Nobarat, bad day. Then Nyx with a 1. Holy shit, Arena on that win rate. 50 sicker. Damn. I think he has the highest win rate if we go for 1% plus, right? No, Rigna has. And Mortara. Fuck you, Mortara. No one likes you. Tablo apparently also has. Well, I'm gonna place in this thing because I think this thing is insane. Yeah, also 85. Really fucking strong unit in a late pick. Doesn't get that much play, but it's so fucking often the must ban if it gets picked. Definitely pick yeah, the later the better on this unit for sure. Itadori on Dark, which is also, is he Rick? Yeah, he's Rick, right? Dark Rick. Dark Rick, 55 on the win rate. I like Rick. I was checking out Ababo's Rick earlier today, and then I checked like how I could room 1 and shit. He doesn't need fucking crit rate. He only needs to do 10% damage to get this shit in. Should be easy, especially with additional damage artifacts. He even gets a self-attack buff, right? Does he? Attack power? Fixes Awakening. Kind of agree because it doesn't make sense, but kind of don't agree because the unit already good. At least 85. Yeah, he doesn't get that much play. He's just a 5th pick. I think 85 is fair. Would not give it higher. But I definitely classify him as an 85. I would like to place him higher, but he doesn't just get that much playtime, I would say. And he's kind of based on that you probably go for Vanessa a lot. Because you need some protection for him. Or Chandra. But he's a strong unit, absolutely. You will do better. Yeah, pick him more. Then we go into also one of the highest win rate units. Right? Nobara, number 4 highest win rate unit. With a 8.9% freaking pick rate. And it even goes up by 1.2%. Damn. That unit is stupid. Like Loki straight 90. Loki almost higher than 90. I don't know, man. This unit's stupid. This unit gotta go. Well, the thing is, if you don't have her, a bunch of other things would get crazy OP, but she's really fucking strong. What do you guys say, 92.5 or 90? What is her win rate if she gets picked late? Yeah, towards the late is even higher, 95. Nah, I would say, it's a 92.5. Well, the thing is, a procking one is 95. Procking on this shit is absolutely 95. So we go in the middle. Can proc, cannot proc, 92.5. 92.5. Can proc, cannot proc. She's proc, she's 110. Everything debuffs nowadays. Got that bitch. Yeah. Yeah, kind of. That would be 95 her. Win rate is insane though, but... And even the win rate in the match going up already having this crazy high of a ban rate. That's also something. That is definitely something right there. Gotta be with you. Yeah, no, I kind of agree. Like, she's just... I should actually invest more into her and pick her more often, man. She's just dumb and toxic. Yeah, I'll give it 95. We have toxic shit on 95. Yay! Like, that, it is a good representation of what the meta is. Toxicity. Uh-oh, Magoomer coming in. Well, Magoomer actually has low win rate. He toxic, but he low win rate. Yeah, 30 on the pick, 48 on the win. Not super high. But Magoomer is at least 90. Is he more than Seiishizo? That is the big question. We're gonna have ads again. Can we remove those for a second? This. Not that one, that one. Bitch, be gone! Same as Seiishizo? Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Same as Seiishizo. It's fair. Dark one. I don't think it's used as much. Oh, it's actually used enough to be picked in. Okay. Any of the others? No, definitely not. I am not a big fan of this dark thing, though, to be honest. Looks like GG should have frustration stats. It doesn't work like that. I think I'll give you an 80. Yeah, it's kind of Joe Gun-ish value for me. He has too many checks, but he only has one fucking resistance check for strip. If you miss the strip, the whole fucking thing what comes after is ass. Do we place him 85er? Well, he kind of pairs well with Erusian, I'm pretty sure. Oh, actually lower than expected. I expected him a higher win rate with the Erusian. That's good with Dark Aragon. Good with LDs, it seems. Pretty much just good with LDs. He's good with more. Well, that makes the unit ass in the first place. Straight down to 80. I don't think I would use that unit that much if I had one myself. Gojo territory. Uh-oh. The Gojo's coming. What a Gojo. Not a big unit for win rate nor pick rate. Also, was really enjoying the pushback meta where he couldn't be pushed back. Now, there's not really that much. Like, he was good against Oliver. He was good against Phantom. Now slept on, but yeah, maybe for the pushbacks for the Dragon Warrior as 2s. I could kind of see that. But outside of that, yeah, maybe against a Okeanos here and there. Kind of see that, but there's still a lot of just straight up stunts coming there. He's situational, yeah. Yeah, he's not really worth it to go for full-on crazy set, but he's 106 base, and the 106 base actually gives him decent value where he can go for a tier 3 despair set, but still be fast enough to outspeed. Plus, I think he's the kind of unit, I don't use him much, if at all, that he could kind of be like a set like this, and you just like, oh, I have random freaking guard triplers on there. Throw him on that bitch, it's fine. Like, he can kind of get these stats and then just pure on add damage nonsense. If you have decent artifacts, he could kind of be a something, so I would say 80. With challenge battle artifacts, he is a little bit higher, that's true. But also, then you're fighting shitters with shit rune quality. This thing never used, that thing. I'm surprised that the old Vincent has this low a pick rate. Light Gojo, though. This is what people is gonna call me biased for. But Light Gojo is on a 48.4 win rate. Rebalance patch, 52.5. Or 52.4. We dropped fucking 4 win rate over a balance patch. What the fuck is this shit? This unit low-key ass. Like, if I check the players that are spamming this a lot, Lando, keep in mind, Lando has Tian Lang and Laura. He cannot even get this bitch to a 50+ win rate. That's insane. Like, everyone who spams this unit is on a super low win rate on this. The big issue is, what people don't get, it's not really the nerf. The nerf is not that bad. Like, even with the Laura, it's 50 win rate. Even with the Zhongxian Lao, it's below 50 win rate. Even with the Tian Lang, it's below 50 win rate. What the actual fuck? Yeah, Instant Noodle's doing good. He's boosting this with the segment. But with Janna, 45 win rate. But it's the meta that changed. And if we see what is it bad against, Ragdolls, makes sense. But the Gandalf, The Gandalfer really does fuck you up. And no more Venton. That's also a pretty big factor, yeah. But Josephine fucks you up. Gandalf fucks you up. Those are just two common of units that just hard mess you up right here. Eresian hard messes you up. Monkey like it loses to. Okay, this explains it. Most meta unit, 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 and all of them you have a terrible win rate against. Like you're not beating a single fucking meta unit. That just means you're ass. That's just one of those things. That's just one of those things. So no, he's not good anymore. Anyone that says he's still good, nah. He's still a late pick usability decent-ish unit. But he's definitely not for spammable, like late pick. That's where he starts winning. And barely. So I think I'm generous with 85 almost. He's pretty much like Moore. Moore's one of the weakest units in game right now. Yeah, that's also the thing. 2 to 3 hits. He's really, because his S2 is like a Moore, but it could be 1 hit less. It's definitely a thing as well. So I'm almost down. No, I would not place him that low down. I think I'm generous with 85, honestly. I feel like he's worse than a lot of the units in 85. Or less pickable than the units in 85. I feel like I one down him, but then people cry too much. It's like what, a twin tier? Yeah, to be honest, I kind of feel like this. And then I definitely one down you again. Because you're even... Yeah, no, he's not Juno tier. He's 80. So yeah, that's just... You are super happy with pulling the best unit in game, in your opinion. I have half a fucking season with that unit. That's depressing, man. That is fucking depressing. He's better than Elena in current meta? Hell no. Elena fucks up all of these units that are meta. This thing doesn't. This thing gets fucked up by everything that's meta. Elena's supposed to fuck up the meta. So no, Gojo 80. Yeah, that's just the thing. Eresian just took his spot. Also fairly true. If Eresian gets nerfed, he gets more value. Same for Moore. Because then you're searching for a similar team and then he gets better already. But he also loses his fight 1-1 to Eresian by a long slide. Dark Gojo, I'm surprised. Same for Isis. I'm surprised that Dark Gojo and Isis don't do better. I still want to drop in the Gojo. Where they place Ice, same thing over here. I feel like that these units as a 5th pick, they have to land the shits, which is kind of the issue. But if they do, they're really good, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm capping. Solvark. Now we're going into territory of crazy fucking win rate units. 50 fucking 3 on a Solvark. Are they gonna get Gurkha next patch? That's the big question. 11.6 on the win rate. Does stay 53.1. Yeah, Solvark, you know what's gonna happen. Solvark goes... Is he better than the rest of them, though? No, I don't think he's not 100. And he's also not better than the rest of them. He's a similar scale as Okeanos, in my opinion. Because Okeanos gets fucked by Josephine, but this thing gets fucked by this thing. So they have their own counters. I would say, for this unit, I think, in my opinion, it's pretty important you go crit rate on this bitch. Because if you go HP defense, you can see it here on win rate. HP defense has no win rate. Defense HP apparently has win rate, which makes less sense, but go crit rate on this bitch. You want to do some damage. But yeah, I think a 95 is fair. And Eresian coming on next. I think this man does not need no introduction in the current meta. I was expecting him when I read the balance patch to have more of a Megumi issue. This thing apparently has no fucking Megumi issue known to mankind. I'm pretty sure you have a positive win rate against Megumi. Oh wait, if we put it like this. Where is the Megumi at? Well, probably, where do you lose against? Nobaras. Okay, that shows Nobara's strong enough. Megumi is more for Shing's. Yeah, no, he fucks us up Megumi's, interestingly enough. Damn. Also, easiest 100 of my life. No questions asked. This thing, nope. This thing, nope. I would also say for all 3 of them, I feel it would have been fair if they weren't buffed before to have higher rate on their S1 to land their shits, but now, nope. Tanjiro. Tanjiro. Not picked enough. Nezuko. Okay. How about this one? That's actually never picked. 52 on the win rate, 3.7 on the pick rate. This or one below this? I feel like she is a little bit favored on the pairs you have. Yeah, with a Jaeger, Gianna, lowering cooldown, giving immunity, Sierra Star. Yeah, a little bit too favored on the pairs. I'll give it 85. I'll give it an 85. Then we move on to some Zenithus. Let's start off with Wind. Never used. Water. Never used. Dark. 53 on the win rate, 5.4 on the pick rate. This unit is insane. It kind of forces you into a play style for more Vanessa because this thing does want its protection. But this thing, at least 92.5. Bare minimum 92.5. 95, he has maybe a little bit too little picked for, in my opinion. Because I think his win rate would drop if people start spamming him more. It is Obabo carried and Dio carried. Those two players have very high win rates with it. Pretty sure about that. Yeah, exactly the two I named. So it's exactly those two that are hard carrying him. There's a whole bunch of other players not doing as great with him. But you need the playstyle around him, and therefore he's maybe not a 95, but he's a 92.5. But he's... Or maybe I even down him to 90. How do you do in lower ranks? No, still in lower ranks you're good enough. No, 92.5. 92.5. Sub-Zero, I didn't. With Jackson, 97. It's that Jackson kind of takes a slot and not does anything else with it, but... Inosuke on the water. This unit kind of gone. Interesting that he's doing that weird right now. I was expecting him not to be that Venton dominated. But he kind of is. And to be honest, kind of Light Gojo-ish, yeah. 80 over there. We also have this one. Very low on the pick rate, though. Very, very low. I like this unit. He needs really good runes, though. But very low on the pick rate, so therefore just... I'm gonna give him some credits, though. I like this unit. You're also an 80 for me. It's kind of similar to like a Siana for me. Now, let's place you Siana tier then. Because you need the crazy runes. Oh, yeah, Fire Pick, of course. Fire Pick. 50.8 on the win rate. Not too bad, not too bad. 5.5 on the picker. Not bad numbers. It's countering a lot of things of the annoyance stuff of the meta. But just an 80. Just an 80. Fair 80. What is his best build, actually? Fire Shield, Fire Nem, but they're lower on picks. Probably Chow tier. Yeah, Chow's in this tier as well, right? Yep, Chow, Misty. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Milia. Low on the pick rate. Surprised about that. Well, I guess that provokes are kind of the easiest to get rid of, and still a lot of units stuns through provokes. Ish. Is good paired with Eshir. Funny enough, not a high pair with an Erussian. I kind of expected a high pair with an Erussian, but apparently not. I think she's okay, but I also kind of liked her more in the Phantom meta than I like her right now. But I'll still give her an 80. Number one on Lamilia for you? It might be. Oh, no, well, by win rate. No, Rexus is doing slightly better. That's also, Lamilia is really good if you have Light Nina. I think it's still the best pair for Light Nina. Is it actually showing in here as well? No, it's not really showing up in here. Maybe it doesn't have that many plays together. Because you want to have a branding for your Nina. Otherwise, your Nina is not gonna have killing range damage. And with the Lamilia S3 into a Lightning now on good artifacts on both, you bring things in killing range. Or you potentially already kill. And that's kind of the downfall where Light Nina, you will see later, is also not doing as great. Like, I was hella glazing Light Nina during the Phantom meta for good reasons, but now it's not that great anymore. This thing barely picked, that thing barely picked. Mortera! Ew! Mortera is straight up this value for me. It's similar to Nyx. It's low picked, but look at this win rate. 50-7! On a 30 ban, I'm curious to see what is her... Does she... She goes up to a 60.5 win rate if you leave her into the fucking match? El Diablo! El Diablo! Like, what the fuck is that shit? 60 fucking win rate? Yo, you go up, bitch. Holy fucking hell. Fuck off. Like, that thing is toxic. Okay, it's probably just one dude spamming the living shit out of this on this pair. Like, I'm pretty sure that this whole pile is just that one dude. Well, it's not even that he's hella overdoing the... It's just this guy is kind of fucking up the win rate. But the others are all having crazy win rates with this thing. Yeah, this thing is hella slept on. I'll drop it on the 90, I don't care. Fucking 60 win rate? If you leave it onto the stupid match? Fuck that shit. Yeah, the funny thing is, Valeska actually took a hard hit on win rate. If we go one season back, Valeska win rate was like 52, 53. Right now, it's not as great. I'm not sure what she's struggling with. What are you struggling with? What's your problem? Gandalf. Okay, never mind. No further questions, Your Honor. We heard everything we wanted to say. Water Gandalf is her issue. It is fine. I would say in low ranks, I'm pretty sure in low ranks, she has like higher win rates, right? Yeah, the lower the rank you go, the higher the win rate goes. Absolutely. But it's a heavy Gandalf issue right there. 80, yeah, I think we're fine with 80. I think she's still good for a late pick. She doesn't really use runes that you would use anywhere else. Yeah, still the late picks are good. The early picks are bad. So if you use Valeska in a spamming comp, she bad. If you use Valeska in a late pick counter pick, she really good. But if you pick her early, you're exactly fighting Abelios, Gandalfs every fucking fight, and you're having a bad day. So I still give her 85. Yeah, I think last patch she wasn't super high, but before that she was actually really high in win rate. But Valeska, Gideon. Gideon is kind of on edge for being picked enough. 52-ish win rate, what was it? 53 almost. It's also mainly just a late pick. Lamilia should be 85, not gonna lie. I feel she's picked a little bit too little for that. And I think that in a lot of cases, an Okeanos or a Solvark just does way better. That is kind of like, do you go for AoE strips into Solvark Okeanos or Lamilia? I feel like that these two probably do better. Unless your Lamilia goes S3, S2 in one turn. That is kind of another thing. No, I kind of agree. Maybe, I think she's still pretty decent. Plus, you use a rune set that you probably don't really use anywhere else because just speed and HP and the accuracy barely even matters. Gideon 80, I think it's fair. This thing, not used enough. That thing, also not used enough. Moving on, next to Nina's. Well, we just click from this and then to the other one. Never used, never used. Wait, this one. Yeah, that's the thing. Light Nina. 47.7% win rate. That dropped a lot. Like, she used to be like... she dropped 4% in win rate. She dropped all of the same win rate as Venton dropped in win rate. And I think she's still good, but she's only good with a Lamilia at the moment. And she used to be very Venton carried. And shields is also an issue, that's true. I think 80 is fine. I think she's still good and it's a late pick. She's also easy to rune. But Maxi currently has more damage output for the right things. Or, it's just harder for her to get things in killing range, whereas Maxi can do that a little bit better. She needs the setup with the brand, that's the main thing. If we get a better AoE Brander in game again, she will be more interesting. Lamilla can kind of do that, but there were better units before. But I still give it an 80. I still think it's good. Pulse. First, let's check the most fake ball out there. Waterpaw. I hate this unit. This unit is so bad. I really have no clue who was thinking about using this shit. Especially, I don't know, man. That thing does nothing. It legitimately does nothing. Firepaw, however. 51.8 win rate on a 5.3 picker. Okay, okay. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Are we talking 85? Or we're talking... No, I would say higher than 85. Are we talking 90 even? No, 90 is maybe a little bit far-fetched. 87.5. I think it's fair on that. He is a little bit inconsistent on his S1 and S2. That's the only thing that's holding me back, because those activation rates aren't a full activation. Oh, it is. Is it on the S2? No, it's also not on the S2. Both of them have like a lower change. But it is a solid unit, though. I think I'll keep it here. Because he doesn't get that much play just yet. Gets wrecked by Benny's Douglas. That's Benny's RNG, man. That's different. Benny's RNG hits different. Hwoarang. I think this unit is hella slept on. I think since people saw the nerf, they are like, this unit bad right now. No, this unit's still fucking strong. It still destroys shit. Plus, this is one of very few units that doesn't give a shit about shields. And funny enough, his best bolt is triple HP. That just shows additional damage, stack from the fucking passive, and you're good to go. Yeah, 92.5, for sure. Gandalf's best friend? Yep. Yep, Gandalf's best friend and a Gandalf counter. A 92.5. I wouldn't give it higher than that, but definitely. 3 times HP. Hey, apparently it's the highest win rate on this stupid thing. It just makes it impossible to kill. I think you need some crazy slot 2 for it, though. But that's kind of funny. Yeah, that's also the thing. Like, the comparison of 42 speed versus 63 HP. 63 HP has more value, technical-wise, than a 42 HP. It's not by a long shot, but it's a little bit higher, technically. Especially if you already get speed from the passive, so... But yeah, this unit, kind of stupid. Hard to kill. 92.5. And also, the biggest sacking shit unit if you can never kill it. Jin on Fire. It's kind of struggling to get his right match in. It's kind of trying to counter Erosion, but countering Erosion is not that easy. Unless you stun every time. But that's a despair issue. High on the seal value. I'll give you a 75 because you have low pick rate, low win rate. I think that's fine. Driana. Are you even picked enough? Ooh, I was hoping this for to be a good AoE Oblivion unit, but it not. No. How about this one, the fake Nefties? Fake Nefties doesn't get too many plays in. Too conditional? Yeah, that's the thing with this thing, too conditional. And then we're gonna go to the aids of the meta. Gandalf. Water. 51 on the pick rate. 29, or 51 on the win rate, 29 on the pick rate, pretty much. High ban rate as well. Is he one of the higher ban rates for that high pick rate? He is the highest ban rate for that high pick rate, that has high win rate. He is the whole package. I am that biased that I would want to place this stupid thing in here, low-key. But he's not Erosion level. But he's definitely 95. He is absolutely 95 right there. Make him 105. Probably 97.5. Make him 105. If this thing procs every goddamn turn, he's fucking 105 for sure. 97.5. Do we feel like he's more annoying than these units? If he procs every turn, you legit can't win. Yeah, he is more annoying than these units, right? Yeah, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna do it. Win rate is not representing it, but the annoying piece of shit he is representing it. There you go. He's not first pick material. That's the only issue he is, because he's better if he's picked a little later. As far as I know. Yeah. He's not first pick material. That's the only difference. But this bitch, an annoying piece of shit, mental wasting damage. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Is he good into Okiano? He's good into fucking everything, man. Oh, Gojo. Where is this thing not good into? Zeratus. That's why I say people are sleeping on their Zeratus. Zeratus is good into this annoying piece of shit. Seimei. Maybe we should use more Seimei against this. Legolas, still. Nezuko's. Daphnis. Cadiz. Nuts. Gianna. Well, had a mediocre rate. This thing is not even that high of a win rate against it. Ciao. Yeah, no, this thing's just an annoying piece of shit. Please get it. Like, if I ever can influence anything for buffs and nerfs, can I place this thing higher? Like, get that shitty thing out of the field. But trust me what they're gonna do on this. So, how they're gonna nerf this unit is very simple. They're gonna nerf this skill to have 1 cooldown extra. It's the easiest way to nerf this unit. But then, in response, they gotta buff the others, and they're gonna make this thing the most next level toxic annoying shits by giving it a heal as well or something. 100% know that there's some stupid shit like that is gonna happen. People are asking for Elise. Elise. Not enough picked. Bro, didn't react to the raid at all. Ah, thanks for the raid. I got mods for that shit. Calm down. I was raging on Water Gandalf. What the hell do you mean? Light Gandalf. Is a little bit niche against Cleaves. And that's about it. So, in all honesty, I give it a Belial value. Yeah, 75. Not even gonna give you 80. A Belial value. That's all you get. Legolas. Legolas. Fire. Ooh, it's actually cranking up the win rate a little bit. 49.4. Still an RNG piece of Zok unit for that S1. It's definitely higher on the Swift. Funny enough, still a lot of people playing him on Fire though. I really like him more on the Swift build. But Fire Legolas is nice. But E80 nice. It's not that he's... Is he 85 nice? No, he 80 nice because 2 RNG. If you double shot every fucking hit and you never 5 shot, he's just ass. So I give him still 80. This thing. Very low on the pick, but I do like myself a Wind Legolas. Recently ruined one up. That thing has stupid for damage. Like, it's just the honest truth, man. He throws stupid for damage for no reason. No setup, AoE, double 9Ks. But why? Like, no setup, no death break, no nothing, just AoE 9Ks whole team. But yeah, this thing, he has issues for S1. I think his S1 should always 3 hit. Light Legolas would also really enjoy that. And then he should have lower rates to get the 4 and 5 hit. But he should always 3 hit, in my opinion. And I think the whole family can use that. Light Legolas, holy shit. Abs, you have this unit, right? Stop hinting with it. He's not I love this side, man. Oh, wait, you guys don't see the win rate. It's your fault. I really like the unit. In all honesty, I really like the unit, but he's just... He has the biggest issue with the S1. Even higher than the Fire, I would say. Aragon. Dark Aragon! 53 on the win rate is also one of the highest win rate units above 3% pick rate. Being number 5. Mr. Aragon goes to 55 win rate if he's left into the match. That is something right there, sir. Best unit in game? I feel like he's also a little bit overrated. But that is because I figured out like 1 or 2 comps to really fuck those guys up. this thing does not like to fight if you go for this one, and this one. You mess him up really badly. But it is one of the strongest pairs with the Erussian at the moment, so that's definitely true. But yeah, if you vamp Juno this guy, yeah, this thing has an issue. Vamp Juno really messes this dude up. But maybe that's also specific against Raider, because Raider's spamming it with his Ibala. Does have some... Yeah, this is the Raider spam, pretty much. I'm kind of tempted on 95, though. Let's just move on. I hear someone... look at him with Ella. Wait, Ella here. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm pretty sure Fit Greek has it, and if I place it here, he fears for a nerf. He's fearing for the nerf already. We got a Raider from Smokes before people get mad that they don't react to Raiders. I'm somewhat tempted on this. Because in the end, if we go for this, he is higher win rate. No, he's actually similar to the Nobara. No. We'll keep it similar. 95. I'm fair on 95. He's strong, but he has his counters. How is Ella so low? Ella's not picked that much and not crazy on win rate. Why is Jaeger 95? Because he's good. Can I say that for every unit? Why is he that rank? Because he's good. But that is a low rank. Because he's good. Water on this thing. Not picked that much. Jaeger RNG unit. Yeah, if they die in one hit or two. Like fucking hell, that thing fucking one shots with a defense break. I'm actually not a big fan of this thing. Boost angle. It's nice for the immunity, but he's not that great. Check Leona. I'm sure she is up here right now. She's not. Leona. Nope. She's Almimo spamming this probably. Yeah, Almimo and Hanselot. Yeah, if Almimo has 71 win rate with a unit that has absolutely no fucking value because this man is living on god tier RNG. Like that he just plays a different game. That's not... all of his win rate should be excluded from this thing. Like, who the fuck has a fucking 67.8 win rate with a Gapsco? It doesn't count. It does not count. Ida, think that this is the whole list. We did not even place anyone in 55. Who do we hate the most? You are a Shide unit? Nah, let's just not... let's not pick preferences. Holy shit, can't even English anymore. After 3 hours, 2.5. On which unit is most Shide? I think that this is a fair list. It is funny to see how many normal-ish elementals we have at the top. It's actually the most heavy normal elemental at the top I've ever seen. We have a Jaeger and a Dark Aragon. And then the rest of all of the top is normal elemental. Xingqiu isn't more than 90? No, he's low on win rate. Relatively low on win rate. Yeah, I think we're keeping it at this. That's it? You're going? Yep. Yep, I'm gonna be ending it as well because the tier lists are always very intense. I feel like the Mortera is kind of low still. But there is 90. There's fucking 90, man. Well, if you missed any of the units, it's gonna be on the YouTube channel tomorrow. And then you also will have the timestamps of when everything was selected and shit. And of course, that thing still doesn't work because I haven't put it on back yet. God damn it, have to turn it on and off every fucking week. Yep, there it is. So you can check that out. If you have any questions about a specific unit, there you're gonna hear it. Did Dark Cookie get buffed? No, she just fits in the meta. That's the main thing. Well, guys, see you later. I will be checking out who to raid, if there's anyone still streaming. Seems like no one